Hello and welcome to MGP218. I'm Kev, and with me, as ever, there's Sheepdog, almost Anna. She'll be here soon, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello.
And Anna says hello from upstairs. As you can see, she has a vacant chair, but there's no way of making it go full screen because she's not talking on it, which is a bit of a problem. Obviously, if you are listening to this on iTunes or Spreaker, that means nothing to you. But quite frankly, come and watch it on YouTube. It's excellent. You get video as well. You get to see that that's Pab laughing and not just assume it is because of the northernness of the chuckle that he did. What are you chuckling at?
Language it tweeted the live stream. Another different language this week.
Oh, what language is it this week?
Ik ben in livestream, gestart op.
Why is it doing it in ridiculous languages? Was it Japanese last week?
Yeah.
You obviously don't know how to use anything.
Thing is, it's done it on mine. It's done it in German and English.
Yeah, I did get that. Yeah.
So I don't know. Perhaps there's a
German audience as well.
Perhaps yeah. How odd. Perhaps we're big in Germany.
Willkommen to the podcast. I don't know the rest of the words.
Fantastic. I was reading an English to Romanian dictionary today, and you would be surprised how many words are exactly the same or almost the same. For example, pork.
Podcast.
Pork was something like porcarillo or something like that, but porker. So porker was just.
That was your nickname in school, wasn't it? Porcarillo.
Yeah. Pantalon. That's stupid. So it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So they think our trousers are stupid, do they?
Yeah, they do. And also, if they point at you and say pork, they're calling you a porker, because that's what porker is in Romanian, pork. But pork is something else. It's very confusing language. I don't know why anyone speaks it.
Live in Romania.
Well, this dictionary was from Romania as well. I don't know why. I had a Romanian dictionary published in Romania, and it appeared in my classroom, so I had a read of it. Learnt some Romanian, so there you go. That's now Romanian and Polish I can speak almost fluently.
Good.
Not English.
English I'm an absolute expert at, as you well know. So how have we all been on this fine week? This week, it's been like Christmas week, a week full of gifts and presents and mystery loot crate type boxes arriving in my house almost every day. It's been marvellous.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Me and Pab were having a conversation about how we thought it'd be an idea for us all to get different companies so we could do different unboxings, but you seem to have them all covered.
Yeah, I have most of them. I've signed up for, what's it called, Infinity Crate or something. I've signed up for that one today because I got the email about what next month's loot crate is, so I've cancelled that immediately because it looks awful.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'm not spending enough money on TAT next month. Let's find a new one to plug the gap with, especially when I'm not going to be getting Marvel Collector's Core next month because that's only twice monthly. I can't go for a month with only one mystery box.
I'm a bit annoyed with Collector's Core because I know it's a surprise, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid, but there was absolutely no inkling that there was even an opportunity that Squirrel Girl could be involved in this month's one.
It was called Women of Power.
Yeah, but it had their promo had a She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen pop vinyl as the two pop vinyls.
It's a good shirt, Sheepdog. It's a really nice shirt.
I don't read Spider-Gwen, so I thought I don't really
I've never read it either, but she looks awesome, so it makes a good shirt.
But when their promo is saying buy this month's Women of Power box and it's She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen that are the two pop vinyls standing next to the box, I just thought, nah.
And they weren't even pop vinyls either. They were.
But they were in the picture.
Weird things.
It was Miss Marvel as well, wasn't it? It wasn't Miss Marvel, no. Captain Marvel.
I don't know if these are new, but that was what She-Hulk and Captain Marvel were. These little mystery things, little bobblehead jobbies.
But in the promo, they definitely weren't them. They were pop vinyls. So I just thought I don't. Well, I kind of want She-Hulk. Nah. And then when I saw that Squirrel Girl had come through, I was gutted.
In fact, if you look on the back of the box, that's all the other ones in this series. There's no Squirrel Girl on there because Squirrel Girl is a Collector's Core exclusive, Sheepdog. So you're never getting it ever.
I will. I'll get it on the third-party market. I'm hoping a listener's listening, going, I don't even know who Squirrel Girl is, even though we've talked about her, and they're willing to just chuck it at me, but I doubt it.
I'd chuck it at you just because it's got a great big bushy tail. I'd like to chuck it at you and watch it
Really?
bounce off. Yeah, have you not had it out of the box yet?
No, it's still in the box. Let's see.
Oh,
Squirrels got wandering.
it's got a lovely bushy proper squirrel's tail on it, plus a tiny little squirrel. What's the little squirrel fella that she talks to? What's he called?
I don't know. I've not read it.
I can't remember now.
Hey, sheepdog. Pab's not read it.
Pab, give it to me.
I'm annoyed that if you look at the back, like I say, at the back of this box, there's 3 Spider-Gwens. I've got to buy 3 separate Spider-Gwens here.
Yeah, you will though as well because you've got a disease.
Well, similar to you and your 4 separate bloody Arrow fellas. They're the same chap.
I've got another one on pre-order as well because the new ones are coming out. So, yeah, I've got 4 at the moment. There'll be more.
Of the same guy.
Yeah, of Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
In various states of arrowness. I think that's reasonable.
Tippy Toe is the squirrel, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well played, sheepdog.
So, Pab, you have Kev's address, don't you? Just send it there. I'll pick it up from his house.
I'll bring it with me for MGPX.
Don't give him it, Pab, unless you're getting me a gift as well.
I've got nothing else to give you.
Buy something. That's fine.
I'm going to get it off eBay. It's all right.
Okay, good. I didn't really want to give it away.
I kind of sensed that, and I wouldn't have took it off you anyway, because that's just rude.
I'll have something off. If you want to get me a gift, Pab, I'm happily receive a gift. I quite like the look of the Batman and Joker salt and pepper shakers that have just been announced. So if you want to get me some of them,
I'll keep an eye out if I see any cheap for you.
yeah, that'd be
See,
great.
I kind of wish the collector core thing. I know, again, the point of it, but if they had like a 24-hour after they'd released it thing where people like me can go, oh, do you know what? I will have that, and I'll pay 30 for it instead of 25 or whatever.
Is that not a possibility? Because I know it is with Loot Crate. You can still buy it for a couple of days after people have started doing unboxing videos and stuff on it. So that might well have been the case.
Not big so. I mean, I don't know. It might be, but
the big thing with the stupid Funko boxes is they need to get their act together and get the DC one out here as well.
Yeah, I immediately got this and went, okay, well, I looked at the DC one. This one must be out for UK now. Nope, still US and Canada. I'm really
licensing problem apparently.
So
whoever's got the licenses for DC stuff in the UK needs to just relinquish them and let Funko have it and do an awesome box because no one else is doing one and it makes me sad.
Yep.
So I did lots of videos this week about unboxings and established Loot Crate is the worst of the lot because Loot Crate was just awful. So don't buy Loot Crate, anybody, especially because next month is supposed to be even worse.
It's just random crap in it, and they tease you with certain things. You go, oh yeah, that sounds alright, that sounds good. Nope, just absolutely.
I was offended that they mentioned that BioShock Infinite was going to be in it, and it was just a blank key, and that was it.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah,
I've got a blank key. You can get cut.
Yeah. I've got. Well, it would have been worse if it was a key of my house, but I've now got a 300-piece Matrix jigsaw.
Well,
nice. You're a big fan.
It's it's going in the MGPX. Doing languages again. It's going in the MGPX raffle pile because I am not having 300-piece jigsaw in my house. Hello, Anna. How are you? Are you going to say hello? Remember, this is an audio podcast.
Yeah, but I might turn the light off because it's too bright.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you saying hello though?
Hello.
There you go. She's saying hello. She's going to mute her microphone before she walks across the room as well, or it's going to sound awful. Oh dear, she's still.
You know I can hear you.
Yeah, mute the microphone. Oh dear. So yeah, I noticed you were noticeable for your absence on the YouTube channel this week, Pork and Beans. I'm out there doing daily videos like a boss, and you just seem to have not turned up at all this week with your Dark Souls videos. Couple of minutes.
Yeah, my average video goes up for 45 minutes.
Well,
come back to when you're doing 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, a 45-minute unboxing. People will love that. I'm gonna record every time I do them, Pab. I'm gonna do 2. I'll do a 2-minute one that I'll put on the channel, and a 45-minute one that I'll send to you and make you watch.
Yeah, you got to try the shirt on. You got to unbox everything. Literally unbox everything.
I did unbox everything. It takes 2 minutes. You get like 5 things in these boxes.
You got to take the squirrel girl out. You got to put her on your shelf.
She's on my shelf now. She's there.
That wasn't in your video.
No, that would have been a really boring video.
You got to take your camera out and take the cardboard to the recycling. Do all that.
I just leave it on the living room floor. It makes its way to the recycling somehow.
Dave deal with that, do you?
Oh, Anna's back to tell me off. I was trying to be secret behind her back.
Do you realise how loud you're being?
I'm being an internet sensation.
It's
This is the
really weird
volume
because
have
I
to
can
put
hear
up.
you through these, but I can also hear you through there. Need to shh.
Okay, I'll talk quieter and just come
Okay.
closer to the microphone.
Good.
So, MGPX is a month away now, everybody. If you haven't yet got a ticket for MGPX, then you need to head on over to maturegamerpodcast.com/MGPX or justgiving.com/MGPX16. Every £1 you spend on tickets on either of those sites will get you an entry into the famous MGPX raffle, the star prize of which is a 300-piece Matrix jigsaw. Or an Xbox. There's an Xbox One as well, but you know, the people of Loot Crate tell me people aren't interested in the gaming stuff. It's just jigsaws from 15-year-old movies. So, should we do an MGPX jigsaw?
To go with the Monopoly board we were looking at.
Yeah, we're doing a Monopoly board. I'd like a Monopoly board. Now me and Anna collect Monopoly boards.
We have one.
2, we've got Monopoly Classic in the garage as well. And we've got, my dad brought an antique version of Monopoly out of his caravan that's got wooden pieces. So we could nick that and put that in the collection as well and become Monopoly folk. Crazy. We could do Monopoly videos on the channel. There you go. That'd really put Pab to shame. They'd be more than 45 minutes long, Pab. 7 hours of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Should we make it a series?
You do it. Yeah, I've
Look,
fun uploading them.
me and Sheepdog have played a board game on the internet once before, and it was the thing that killed Best Thing from Season 1.
Did you play chess or something?
We played chess whilst trying to do a podcast with a camera pointing at the chessboard. And I don't know if Ustream is still a website that exists. This is how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But it was on Ustream. So if you Google Best Thing from Ustream, you might be able to see me and him from about 6 years ago playing chess on the internet. But I'm fairly confident that website doesn't exist anymore.
I think it does.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's still
So if we turned Monopoly into a proper series, added a bit of narrative to it, I reckon it'd work. We could pull it off. They turn it into a musical. It'd be so good.
What, Monopoly? MGPX plays Monopoly the musical.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Excellent.
thinking.
So before we get into all the gaming and other goodness, obviously if you are watching this live, get involved in the comments. Let us know if you have anything extra to add to the conversation, or if you've got any game suggestions to save our sheepdog for MGPX. We've had quite a few come in on Twitter this week, but I'm saving them for Nottingham. So keep them coming in; they are much appreciated. Or hit us up on Twitter at MGUK Podcast. And between the three of them, they're watching the comments, the chat, the Twitter, the Facebook, the email, and they're probably sat next to the post box waiting for mail to come as well. Is that all fair?
Something like that.
So have we played any games yet this week then? Yet? As if, hold on, have we played any yet? Because there's still time. Whoever goes first, I can play games while you're doing it.
I've played a few.
No, you haven't. Serious answers, please. We're live now, Sheepdog. This isn't pre-show gag time.
I said to you earlier, you might have to scrap the show idea that you spent so much time preparing.
And money. Lots of money as well. I've bought a set.
I was thinking about this show. We can do it, right?
Thanks. That's good of you.
Yeah, because I'm not fully there, but I'd like to have my own piece where I can just basically systematically go through the gaming industry, dumping on it. If that's okay, setting the
Can you
scene.
just do that separate from us? I will buy you a soapbox for you to stand on in the corner and do that.
All right, then. Sounds good. Can I keep the soap that comes in the box?
Anna.
Oh.
Anna, is there anywhere in Nottingham City Centre where crazy people stand on boxes and talk at passers-by?
Market Square.
We'll send him to Market Square on a soapbox, just shouting at people about the games industry, and we'll then have a live feed back to the Mercure where we're going to be sipping gin and tonics and nibbling on barbecue food while he's being crazy to the locals.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
It's not. That's the norm. There's always someone shouting about something.
Yeah, and sometimes there is in Nottingham as well.
Yeah.
So what are you waffling on about, Sheepdog? You reckon you've played some games? So hold on. You've played 3 games. So I reckon Pokemon, Simpsons Tapped Out, Final Fantasy. That's going to be my guess.
4 games if you count Tapped Out.
No, we don't.
Yeah. I played The Escapist, The Walking Dead. which is surprisingly good. I do believe I got this through to. I think it'd been out a little while, and then we were asked if we wanted a copy to review, and I said yeah, and then I couldn't download it at the time, and then it's just been ages for me to actually have a look at it.
Do we all remember him offering that around to the rest of us the way he does?
Not that one, no. It wasn't offered as like a, do you want it on the show? It's just offered to me. So I was like, yeah, I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I love it. It is basically it's following the comics, but it has, I mean, it's following the comics and the show, I suppose. I know they're kind of similarly following each other, but you start with Rick in bed. It's top down. It's sort of pixel art. Do you remember that the 3DS football game?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, you've seen The Escapist before, I guess.
I played it and thought it was trash, so I am quite interested that you're going to tell me this is any good, because I couldn't escape. I did the tutorial and then just couldn't escape after that. Well,
the thing that's different about this is, because I started up and thought, oh, I have to escape the hospital, do I? But no, not really. I kind of just, I did have to get the bits and bobs, and it was only the tutorial, but the main threat was getting around all the zombies, really. So instead of putting puzzles to escape, particularly, they've just... So the first one's the hospital, then they skip forward to Herschel's farm, and that's where I currently am because I'm stuck. But basically, they've added in like errands and the people in your crew who are the people from the show and the comic. It just asks you to run errands for them. They need stuff, or you've got to help Carl be
Carol.
Carl be better.
Carol
doesn't seem to be. I forgot about Carol.
Carol. They're the same person.
Carl. One's Coral and one's Carol.
Yeah, you're saying the same word twice there, you realise.
What I find really odd is none of them have got any weapons, except Rick. And it's my job to go and build weapons and put them together and give them to them. And because I'm lazy, I keep trying to just leave them all and go and fight the zombies on my own, and I keep dying. It's got leveling up, so when you kill zombies, you become more intelligent or strong or whatever, and you've got to be intelligent enough to put different. You can craft objects and weapons and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It's
how similar is? Have you played normal Escapist?
I can't remember. I thought I had, but I might be thinking of something like.
Because this is sounding completely different to the Escapists.
Oh,
I thought it was just a reskin, which is why I've never even looked at it.
This is what I'm saying. So Escapists, I'm assuming every level is just you're trying to escape a puzzle of a prison.
Yeah.
And this seems to just be they've used the same engine to build out Herschel's farm. The Herschel's farm level is very much you just wander around getting stuff out of the drawers, piecing them together to make weapons, doing errands. Like you have to actually follow a timer and do errands, or you raise a threat on your group. So what I mean by that is you all meet and do a head count first thing in the morning. If you're not there in time, it raises the risk level. If you're not eating breakfast with the group, it raises the risk level. If you're not cleaning infected clothes, it raises the level. At the same time, you're putting things together and doing random jobs. You've also got to clear the zombies. And then after you've healed Carl, where I got to, then Herschel shows you his shed where he keeps all the dead bodies. Which made me laugh because on the internet when they zoom into someone's face when they're just horrified, they zoom right in on the Escapist pixel art version of Rick. You might as well be zooming in on a pop vinyl. It's emotionless. But
I'd love to zoom in on a pop vinyl. That'd be amazing.
But yeah. So then I've just been trying to get through the big stable full of zombies and. Because I was only doing it with a machete, because I thought, well, Michonne can do it with a sword. A machete's not that far off. In the first level, I was hitting him away with a bar of soap in a pillow sack. So I just thought a machete is a massive upgrade, but no, it's not. The gun's kind of the one you want, but you only have 6 bullets. I think the idea of this level is I'm supposed to go and tool everybody up and then invite them all to help me to kill the zombies. Because they're too busy eating breakfast to help.
I think I might have to purchase this. I assume it's available on everything. I want to try it now. I've just had a little look on the internet. The graphical style looks identical.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked the idea of the Escapists, and it was just too hard for me.
You might be able to get it in the Steam sale.
Can't do that on my iPad.
I can get on. Yeah, you can have a look.
My iPad's telling me there's £75 off suits.
Yep.
Is this Batman suits?
No.
Oh.
You're on about
Iron Man suits.
Is that £4.41 for the Escapist Walking Dead on Steam?
Is
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
How do I get onto that godforsaken website on my iPad?
Just get the app. That's what I do.
I've probably already got it. You lot go about your business. I'm shopping.
I'm sat here on eBay. I found the one Squirrel Girl pop vinyl that no one's seemingly bid on. It's got 1 day, 15 hours left, and it's £10.50. All the others are £40. This is never getting through to the end, but I'm going to watch it like a hawk anyway.
You should have just got your collector core.
Are you two wearing the same T-shirt?
We are,
No, we're
because
not.
we're showing Sheepdog that we both got the Marvel Collector's Core, so as well as getting the awesome Spider-Gwen T-shirt, we have the Squirrel Girl pop vinyl that Sheepdog wants.
You know you
you go.
can get back orders of the boxes at later time.
Where? From whom?
On the
From
Marvel
Loot
Collector Core
Crate.
website. It wasn't Loot Crate. it
Oh,
was
not
Marvel
Loot Crate, the
Collector
other
Core.
one.
But I think she might be right. I think you can buy old crates on there. I think it's different to Loot Crate. If you go to the Marvel Collector Core website, I'm pretty sure that's a thing you can do.
Possibly.
Right, so Walking Dead. That's what I'm looking for on here.
While you're talking about that, I also this is something that we talked about before, and I was like, I need to be more involved in the demo-y stuff that they do on EA Access because I'm paying for it. It's there. I should put the games to use. I've downloaded an NHL game because I thought I liked the hockey game I played a few years back. I haven't played it yet because it was a massive file, so it's probably still downloading now, wrecking my bandwidth. But I downloaded, what's it called, Unravel, the demo.
I have that. I bought that this week.
Presumably you've reviewed it, have you?
No, I just
No?
bought it.
That's
She wasn't
really
on
cool.
the show last week, was she? So
So, has it only just come out then?
No,
No,
it's been out for
a
a
while.
while. But
There's a video on the
it was
channel.
always it was like £15. I didn't like the look of it, and I've seen it for £6 while the
Where's
sale's
there?
going on PlayStation.
Oh, okay, because it was the sale on Xbox for it. It's not £15; it's £13.50. I was like, whoa!
Okay.
Watch
No,
everybody rush.
there's a massive sale on PlayStation at the moment till the 1st of July, and all EA Access games have like 50-70% off. There's like, you can get the Game of the Year edition of Dragon Age Inquisition for £16. That's just like a pound more than getting all the DLC separately. So they've got some massive savings. I bought Battlefield Hardline for like $3.99, and
Oh, I
it
saw
came
you
out
got
last
that.
year. Yeah, $3.99. It's mental.
I've just seen the pass boxes section on the website.
I have a question.
Go on, mate.
That's why my hand is raised. I am looking on Steam now. What's the difference between the Escapist The Walking Dead and the Escapist The Walking Dead Deluxe? Because there's 60p difference between the two.
We'll
but
get
I
the
feel
deluxe
like,
one.
yeah, but it doesn't say there's any difference. I feel like it's just,
Why
hey,
am I-
you want to spend an extra
It tells
60,
you on there, doesn't it?
we've got an
Tells you.
option for you.
This one's Scorpion free.
Yeah, exactly. I can't see that there's any difference between the two versions of the game.
Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah, you focus on that while Sheepdog tells us what else. Are you two talking about Unravel? Did I interrupt?
Yeah, I was trying
Go
to.
back to Unravel.
So, have you played it yet, Anna?
Yep.
I really liked it. I thought, I'll have a quick go of it. It looks simple and, it's a bit quirky. And what I was kind of thinking is in the past, these were always the games that I just stumbled across and thought, why not? And then suddenly I felt a bit more in love with everything again. And this is really pretty. I imagine it probably looks better on PS4. I don't know what gives me that impression, but this sort of game tends to. I don't know. But
Kevin
Is
said
this that really, really pretty game that
yeah.
where
that
I
you thought it was a-
it were real?
Mm.
It looked amazing.
Claire came in to me and said, "What's this game about then?" And I was like, "I think this old lady dropped her ball of yarn, and now it's travelling around her house, finding her memories from pictures and filling in her little photo album with memories of her life." And then I sort of raised the obvious health and safety issues that this ball of yarn's walking around her house, tying bits of itself everywhere. When she comes downstairs, she doesn't stand a chance. She's tripping over that yarn, and she'll be dead in seconds. But
I know I'm not normally one to go on about how good games look, but seriously, it's
stupidly good,
breathtakingly stunning, and it's got to be the one of the most beautiful games there has ever been. It made me want to go and get a big 27-inch iMac jobby to play it on, or a 4K TV or something, a screen that would do it justice. I wanted to spit on my TV and think, those good blacks are doing me nothing now. I want more pixels.
That's why I wondered if PS4 was better, because when Claire came in, she said, "Oh, it looks really good." I was like, "It does," but I just get this feeling in my gut that I'm not seeing it in all its glory. I was telling her about the new Xboxes that are coming out in a few years that are even better, and the more I think about them, the more I'm like, yeah. But this will be one of the first. This is a bit like when Journey was just remastered as much as possible. This will be remastered, surely. Not that it even really need to.
It would be possible to make it look any better. I think we've hit the peak. I mean, obviously, the next peak is doing stuff like this in a high-action game with dozens of characters on screen at the same time, etc., etc. There's not much going on. There's not much on screen. But I don't think you could make this game look any better ever. I don't think it's possible. We've hit the limit.
And it's not just the graphics that are good. The gameplay's quite fun as well. It uses real physics as they put, but I kind of just thought, yeah, it's physics. So, like,
I'm Sheepdog. All my physics is real.
But you basically are the. It's just a person, isn't it, Anna? It's not like a rabbit.
His name is. Well, I've named him Yarny.
I called
him.
Yeah.
I called him Fred. Because so you wander around and you can sort of tie a bit of your yarn to like a hook, and then throw your lasso yarn onto another hook, make that a catapult, and catapult yourself across the level. You can like lasso up and then drag yourself up the yarn. You know, you're just using part of your own yarn to help you travel around, and you can only go so far before it says, "Hang on a minute, mate, you're out of yarn. You have to find some more yarn, or you're going to be screwed." That I find a little bit odd. Like, why has this woman got bits of yarn all over her house and really weird?
Because she's old.
Yeah, there's old people knit, Sheepdog.
Because it's a game, is the main thing. I know, but then I should be questioning why this ball of yarn is alive and why it can pass through photographs.
Remember as well, translation issues. When they say yarn, they're talking about wool. So it's like when old ladies have wool for their knitting, Sheepdog.
This is actually a ball that you'd give a cat, though. That kind of yarn.
What do you mean? That's just normal wool, isn't it?
Is it even called yarn? What do you give a cat? A ball?
Wool.
Nah. The levels look amazing. There's a lot of pictures and stills in the background and sparkly bits, and just it's all very polished to hell. And there's lots of bits. I mean, the water looks good. I drowned, Thread drowned a few times.
Yeah, he can't swim.
Yeah, which is unfortunate when the second level's at the seaside. What
Kevin,
got me?
what are you doing?
Don't worry.
What got me confused is, I know demos are normally 10 minutes, aren't they? 10 hours, sorry, on EA Access.
Yeah.
As I loaded it, it told me I had 15 minutes, and I thought, oh, maybe it's like a short game, so they're really, really, really scrimping. But I was playing it for over an hour, and it didn't stop me. But I kind of think, I kept just thinking, well, do I start the next level? Is it going to cut me off? So I'm constantly living in fear. Which, yeah, it means I should just buy it, but I also want to see if I can get my money's worth out of it, you know, and it'll be surely free in a while, or I'll just get it in a sales. I mean, but at the moment, I need to wait till I get paid and go from there, because I'm too busy buying Squirrel Girl off of eBay. But no, this game is really beautiful, and I really enjoyed the gameplay. Anna, you should probably say some words, because I've talked over you, sorry.
No, you've said everything that I wanted to say. The puzzles are head scratchers sometimes. I sit there and think, how does this actually work? And especially running out of yarn, that's annoying. Especially when you're like this much away from it and you're like, just go that extra, so you're there pulling at your yarn to get some more. But yeah, there's always a way to get to the yarn. So yeah, it's a lovely game. It's £6 at the moment. So I thought I would
Oh yeah, you
Like
said
that.
that. I might have to
Yeah.
turn it on PS4. That's an excuse to turn it on.
So, talking of games and prices, have we established whether I want to spend this extra 60p?
No, you do not
Well, I
want it.
don't want to.
It's a soundtrack, from what I can tell.
£4.41 it is. The Escapist, The Walking Dead. Are they doing the thing in the Steam sale again this time where everything's a set price all the way through?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about this shenanigans.
You don't have to worry about flash
okay.
deals.
I kept thinking, oh, I won't check it yet because I'll just be annoyed. Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
it's all one set price because people were getting annoyed buying the game at the start of the Steam sale, and then a week later it's gone down to another 20% off, and you leave really annoyed.
It's taken a lot of the fun out of it though for me. There's no reason for me to check every day. I'll look
That's the
once
thing.
and have no reason to go back.
Then flash sales had me getting up at it's time to change over at 3 in the morning. Let's have, get an alarm
I
set.
loved all that.
Yeah, get up at 3 in the morning. Is there any games on? No, okay, never mind. I'll go back to bed.
That's quite funny. I keep falling asleep too much. I can't do that. That's why I've never got time for anything. I remember playing this. Me and Kev played this ages ago. Football Chairman. Do you remember getting that app, Kev?
I do.
I started playing that randomly and just hacking at it. I was literally just hitting my phone for a good 3 hours straight, watching what my team did. It's a bit like you playing Football Manager. I didn't put any effort into it. I just clicked.
How dare you?
But no, that's still a fun app. I need to get the premium version, I think. But I'm kind of in two minds. Like, it was fun while I was playing it, but I don't think I'll play it any more beyond that. As far as apps go, it did make me think that you need to draft in more characters for your videos. I want to be the chairman that phones you up and tells you can't buy players.
Get yourself a proper camera setup and you're in.
we could have a phone call over this and just be like, "Hello, Mr. Chairman, it's me, Kevin Chapman, or David Chapman, as it is now, is it?"
Yeah.
And I can get there in my monocle and my top hat.
Then I'll get my dad to ring you and he'll put you in your place. We could have a conference call, me, my dad, and you.
Would we have to pause while you ran in the other room every 5 seconds to change outfits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can look like the fat controller from.
You do anyway.
I mean the hat. I know I've got the weight.
Ah, okay.
And I just want to be like, you've been a very bad engine. I don't know, just to sort of turn you off. All the other engines.
We'll do it. We'll set it up, Sheepdog. It's on. I'm looking at the under £4 games on the Steam sale. I own them all, apart from one, and I want to buy it now. I want to buy Learn Japanese to Survive. It's $1.99, and I'm thinking I might have to get it. The ideal introductory course to the Japanese language. Learn how to read and write Japanese at a steady pace. A full-blown RPG specifically designed to keep you engaged. By playing along, you're going to be introduced to the Japanese language like never before.
That sounds intriguing, to be fair. What if
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
if you play that and you can nail some basic Japanese, you never know
We can ask Aaron HUK or GAT1986. They both already own it. So
Why?
I don't know. We've shamed them now. Let's ask them why they own it.
Yeah.
Anna, ask Aaron on your podcast on Sunday. I want to know if he's learnt Japanese yet before I buy this game.
Okay.
I'll put this on my wish list for now. I need Aaron's feedback. If he has learnt Japanese, I'll finally let him have his Final Fantasy T-shirt that's still in our garage.
You can win it at this year's episode.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah.
I feel really mean because I've just literally been going through eBay at the moment, raising everybody's bids on Squirrel Girls by £6. Everyone on eBay has just lost £6 because of me, like a one-man wrecking ball.
Yeah, that's what you know, Naz. So who else has played some games then? Or are you done, Sheepdog? Was free enough?
I
for
am
you this
done,
week?
but the reason why I feel like I've ruined your Save Our Sheepdog malarkey is because I went to the doctor's and had a chat with him, got my tablets updated the other day, and I feel more normal now and played quite a lot of games since. And I was like,
Couldn't you have just kept all this to yourself and then we could have proclaimed me your saviour live on stage? You could have just said, you know what, Kev? I remarkably feel much better now.
Yeah.
I still think that the games that I think are crap, like Destiny and Division and all of that. So,
Can I interest you in a Matrix 300-piece jigsaw?
I'll probably have a crack at that. Who's on it? Morpheus?
Well, that's the thing. It's basically, I would say 260 of the pieces are just a beam of light going from top to bottom, and then you have these tiny little characters at the bottom who are probably only going to be on maybe 2 or 3 of the pieces, and the rest of it is just big bits of black either side and a bit of white in the middle. So it is just a case of, well, no, you can't. The picture's not going to help you with this jigsaw. You're matching shapes, and that's all it is. And it's just ages 17 plus.
It's a challenger then.
Yeah, we'll do it on stage at MGPX, then give it away after I've bitten the edges off of them all to make them fit.
Oh, that sounds so entertaining.
Spit the edges into the crowd. We'll do it. We can do that whilst playing Monopoly on tape.
On tape?
Yeah. We do all our videos on tape.
Is this on tape?
This is on tape, yeah, and I send it to the internet later. Post it to the internet.
I see.
Silly girl. So what other games have we got then, boys and girls? Is that it? Are we done? Is that all we can muster in games these days?
No, I can go if you want.
No, you can stay. Talk about some games.
Yeah. So yeah, I've bought something on a Steam sale today.
So have I.
Yeah, just there. Yeah, literally. I bought Big Farmer, which is it's not about farming.
Sheepdog will make you get off a train now.
No, I was going to say, isn't that what made Bouncy jump off a train and leave the podcast?
It was. Yes, it was. That he's not been seen for 2 years because of this game. You're on very, very shaky territory.
Really?
Yeah, he played it and then.
He had a leaflet for it. He didn't even play it. He just had a leaflet. And he said, this game looks really good. And I said it didn't. It looked a bit boring. And
he got off the train and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
So, do you think it looks good? Because Sheepdog's about to make you get off a train.
Well, I've played it now. The Sheepdog played it yet.
No, is it boring?
No.
Cool.
No.
Okay.
It's so what the premise is, you are a pharmaceutical company trying to make drugs or medicines for people, and basically it's like a what's it like? Kind of think of something that you'll know what it is like.
I wonder if it's like a theme hospital or
sort of, but you've got more like machines and contraptions. You've got to create the drugs. So what you have is like this empty room, and you've got like little inlets and outlets on the room, and you've got like drag like conveyor belts
it's
to
like
machines.
A Play-Doh set.
No.
You didn't play with the right Play-Doh.
No, probably not. No, I wasn't allowed Play-Doh as a child.
Mix it all together to make brown. That's what I used to do.
But you don't know what colours are, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Anna showed me her makeup earlier, and she's got 17 different shades of brown. And
oh, that reminds me. You're a rude man. I tweeted you the cure to colour blindness the other day in privacy. Said to you, are you aware of these glasses? You can get a 60-day trial of them, so you could have a glorious 60-day period where you see colours like a human, and then go back to the dog you are. And you just didn't reply.
Sheepdog, you realise these days, of being a successful YouTuber, I must get 200 tweets a day at me. I'm not reading your tweets. I'm not reading anybody's tweets. I just like them all. Did it get liked?
No, it was a private message.
Oh, yeah.
And you always reply to them. You always.
Have a look. What, in our group chat?
No, in our personal chat. Just
on Twitter?
On Twitter.
We have a put. Oh, what do you know? I've got a tweet from old Sheepdog here.
Yeah.
Have you seen this site? They sell glasses that combine RG colourblindness. Overcome, not combine, you moron. Okay, I'll have a look at that now. You carry on talking about your game where you make everything brown.
I want a pat on the back.
Can I wear them over the top of my normal spectacles?
I think they make them instead of, so you can have glasses that work both ways. I think.
But I only get them for 60 days and I have to give them back.
How much
are they stinging me for here?
As I say, if you decide they're too expensive, at least you can have 60 days of understanding what colours look like.
And it's a 60-day return policy, not a 60-day trial.
All right, I'm conning the system.
I've got to cough up early. Let's see how much this is going to cost me, you monstrosity. Let's go to the shop.
My logic was get them made up for $4,000 or whatever it costs, and then return them after 4 days and get 60 days, sorry, get it all refunded back to your credit card.
Oh, they're in dollars. So that's great that you told me now. You could have told me 2 days ago, Sheepdog.
Right, but you're hearing my point, yeah? Buy them on your credit card and then return them after 60 days and live with the memories of that 2-month period where you saw everything in colour.
I'm not allowed to use the credit card anymore, but Anna's banned me from it. They do leopard print.
You don't know what leopard print looks like.
I know what tortoiseshell looked like. When I was about 15, I had a pair of tortoiseshell horn-rimmed glasses that I used to wear for school every day because I was that cool. And my dad spent about an hour trying to talk me out of buying these glasses. But I was adamant I wanted them, and I loved them, and I still love them. And I've probably still got them somewhere. With the best glasses ever. And he just kept saying, they're old lady glasses. Don't buy them. Why are you buying old... They're from the old lady section. Go and get the ones with Wallace and Gromit over there. They'll get you less bullied. But, no. There you go. So, I'm all for tortoise-shell horn-rimmed spectacles.
Never mind that they cure your only ailment. You're just worried about how ridiculous they look.
They look fantastic. I'm having some of them. Right, choose my Enchroma frame. You carry on with the podcast. I'm shopping over here.
I'm currently in the worst dilemma because there's a Squirrel Girl finishing in 6 minutes. It's only 20 quid, but eBay won't let me bid on it because I've already got 6 bids on other Squirrel Girls that don't end for 2 days. I need someone to log in, miss this one, outbid me on one of the other ones in the next 6 minutes.
I'm in such a predicament here. I've got to say what I'm more likely to be found doing, and I just don't know which of these 4 to pick. Hold on. There's 4 choices here, and I'm sure you'll find it as difficult as I'm finding it to decide which one I'd be most likely to do. Am I most likely to be involved in fine art, active sports, hiking, or barbecue? And I am not lying. They're genuinely the options. So I'm going to get a pair of barbecue glasses.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can wear them to Bodines.
Yeah. Can I book a table for 8, please, for Saturday night? Don't worry about where you sit us, though. We can be right next to the kitchen. I've got barbecue glasses. It's fine.
We'll all be like, come and have a look at this. Right. I can't look directly at it.
I don't understand what these questions have got to do with buying a pair of glasses. What do you like to drink? Coffee, beer, soda, or juice?
Are you sure you're following their questionnaire? The one I did, Kev, showed me circles with numbers in them, and the numbers disappeared the more colourblind you were, and I got 100% of them right because I've got perfect colour vision.
No, I think this is the right test. Which department do you shop in? Men's, women's, boys, girls? Men's? Hold on. What is your head size?
Everyone knows that.
Kids 6 to 10. Kids 10 to 30. They're talking as if these are actual sizes. Small/narrow, regular, or wide/extra large.
Is the final one Jupiter head?
I think I have a wide head.
Moon face.
What is my purchase priority? Top quality, best value, or on a budget?
On a budget, surely.
Yeah, can't afford spectacles. Do you need... You got carry on. I'm busy here.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm still frantically hoping I get outbid on one of these multiple friggin' Squirrel Girls.
Anyway, Big Pharma, yeah. So you have like a series of conveyor belts and what have you, and you've got to get them into machines, and each machine does different things. So you get like what do you call it? Like not a vaporizer. Anyway, these machines that do like basically you want to get drugs to do certain things. There's 2 bars like effectiveness and what's the word I'm thinking of? Side effects. So basically, the more stuff you put into it, the more side effects it'll have, but the more effective it'll be. So you've got to like then dispense the drug and dissolve it, sort of thing, and dilute it to get the right amount, to get your bars about right. So you want like side effects to be less and effectiveness more. And then, like I say, you're gonna put it through all these machines, and then you pump it out of the factory again, and then you start getting money for it. I've only played like I said, I got it this evening, so I've played about 3 or 4 tutorials. I mean, it seems really engaging. The tutorials are really clever. And it's like I say, it can seem dead complex. I think if you did actually play it and just go straight into the game. So I would advise doing the tutorials. Like I said, it's about 5 or 6 tutorials on how to do each step of the progress of the game. But yeah, like I say, I will play this again up till next week and give you a full report on it next week. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely good at the minute. It's better than it's not boring. Let's put it that way. Whatever it was, you thought about it, Sheepdog.
Get off that train.
It just it sounds a bit better. It sounds a bit like Plague Inc. in a way, I guess, except it's kind of the opposite version of it in that you've got to limit the side effects.
It's like a creation, like you're making money on like in a factory sort of setting where you're trying to like pump out these like goods and you're trying to make money on your whatever it is, your product, and then obviously upgrade your factory. Create more potent drugs and more different types of drugs, and then you go through like there's like a big like research arcs and whatever. You can send people off to different countries to research certain animals and plants to get certain things back to you and whatever. It seems like it's really deep. So yeah, I'll come back to you next week with that one because, like I say, I've only purchased it this evening. So yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Other than that,
Sheepdog, did you play Costume Quest?
I haven't yet. I played the games I mentioned.
You should play it.
I didn't mention it, but I spent the rest of the week playing Civ 5. The whole world's at war with me, and I don't really know why. They've all just turned on me on the
your
spot.
Personality defects, probably, and your aggression.
Probably. Some son of a gun is selling the empty Women of Power box on eBay for £8.
Is that a thing you can do?
Yeah.
Are people actually bidding for it?
That one doesn't have a bid on it, but who knows?
I've got so many empty boxes. I've got the empty Civil War one down there. I've got all my empty Loot Crate boxes. Can I sell my Pop Vinyl boxes? I'll sell you an empty Squirrel Girl box.
Why don't you cut out the Spider-Gwen face on the top and use it as a mask to run around town pretending you're Spider-Gwen?
Don't need to. I can just do this. Because I've got the shirt, Sheepdog. For anyone listening, Pab, every time I get my shirt out, he has to show his as well.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly, because we're that cool.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
games. That's what we're talking about.
The only other thing I've played is Overwatch. I continue just to play Overwatch, and I think I've played probably about close to 10 hours, 15 hours this week, just non-stop. Every time I go on TeamSpeak, you get in there, and it's like I think we had a queue of like 8 people waiting to get into a game the other day. We had because you get teams of 6, and there was 8 people in the channel, so we were waiting for people to drop out, and just another one came in straight away. So unbelievable.
They probably could have formed another team.
Well, we had at one point we had 8 people. Then we decided to go into a 4-on-4. We created a private match and did 4-on-4 instead, which was all right, but. You really do struggle. Like I said, you only got 4 people. I think you can get dominated quite easily. I think.
Just buy me a copy. I'll come and play it.
If I find you a cheap one, I'll buy you a copy. Yeah. There you go.
Good old Unky Pab.
Yep.
Unky Pab.
Any more then? Do you want to hear about football? No, Football Manager. No?
I finished Costume Quest 2. I started it and finished it in a week. I like that game. It's very good.
Is this another one that you got cheapo?
No, it was free. It's on gold. You got gold. So.
Do you know what? I remembered you saying. Is it gone now?
Yeah, it went last week.
I remembered you saying gold, and that's what. When I went on there first off, I started playing something I'd already got, and then I went on EA Access because I couldn't remember what you told me was good to get, and it was this.
It's really good. It's basically your 2 children. It's Halloween. And you go to oh my god, what's it called? Trick or treat?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
A treacle treat.
A treacle treat, yeah.
I was thinking that was a treacle mine or something like that.
And the dentist of that town decides to steal a talisman to go either into the future where you can have no sweets and no one is allowed to eat any candy. So obviously you can't go trick or treating. And so basically you have to go back and tell him that he's being silly, and you find it's a bit of time traveling. So you go back to when he was a kid and convince him. He comes on your adventure and you show him what he's become, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to become that candy for everyone. And it's really good because you find different don't laugh.
No, I'm laughing at the candy for everyone line.
Yeah. But you find costumes, and the costumes have special powers. So say you're a superhero, you will be dressed as a superhero, and you have a basic attack, and then you have a super attack that charges over time. So like when you're in a battle, so it's turn based, so it's you get a go and then they get a go. So that's why I said you would like it, because you like turn based games. And there's lots of different varieties, and it's just really good, and I think you'd really enjoy it. It's not hard, it's not too simple. They've got some gameplay, but it's really, really good, and people should play this. I don't really want to spoil it because there is a lot to do, and it is a lot about the costumes you get and how you use them in different circumstances, because some of the enemies have magic and some of the enemies have just like brute power, and you have to work out in which area what to use the best. My favourite one was it was like, I can't remember what he was. He was like a president kind of person. I'm not quite sure because I'm not American, but he was a president and he had really good special power that would wipe out lots of things. But yeah, people should play that. It's good.
Yep, it's on Steam right now. Its costume costs £1.69.
Oh, that's really good.
Costume cost 2 is £1.49. Or you can get the bundle for £1.49. Not the one.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you might as well get the bundle for £1.49 if that's it is. Like I say, it's crazy pricing.
Talking of bundles, have you seen the Sonic 25th Anniversary Humble Bundle?
Yeah, do you know, I went through it and I thought to myself, every single one of those I've got or
there's
have
a T-shirt and more than 80 issues of Sonic comics.
Yeah, the Sonic
Not exactly known for the comics, it is Sonic.
Well,
it's got quite a good story to it, to be fair, and the proper TV show they made is meant to be quite solid for canon and all that, but they're responsible for there being 1,000,000,001 characters, and it's being a bit watered down.
yeah, you love all that.
Do you know, I sort of frowned upon their Twitter account the other day. That's a game you played, Anna, that we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Number 9. I got Anna a review copy of this. This is an example of when I got offered a review copy, and I said, Anna, you might like this. And it's awful, apparently.
Yeah.
And I poured a bit of, not scorn, that's probably the wrong word, but anyway, the Sega Sonic Twitter account just mocked them, basically. Was just like, unlucky, your game's rubbish, and if you've not got it, you've not got it, kind of thing. They're acting a bit like, you're trying to come in and release a platform game, but it's no Sonic the Hedgehog, is it? And everyone was acting like they were legends, but I was a bit like, you guys have managed to take something that dominated the 90s and just turn it into a turd, and they can't say, oh, the world's moved on, because people still buy Mario games, and at the time they were on an even footing, so the Sonic team are a bunch of jokers. I mean, a lot of people said Yacht released Sonic Boom, which I thought was okay, but it was universally panned.
Yeah, whoever runs that Twitter channel, that is better than any Sonic thing right at this moment in time. Just that Twitter account.
Yeah, the account's funny, but it's also like, can't you make the games instead?
It's clearly not. Yeah.
I'm hoping they've got an ace up their sleeve, because they're acting so cocky.
No, it's been like this for a while now. They're just like, God, I'm not even bothered anymore. Just do what you want, and just let somebody intern in there just having a mess around on Twitter, because It is insane. You think, how is he getting away with that? Surely someone at Sega is going to yank this guy off of the Twitter account at some point.
Yank him off.
Yeah. Well.
But why was the game so bad, Anna? What's the problem?
Oh, it's not fun. There's no fun to it. Like, the cutscenes are just talking. There's nothing's happening. It's just like words being spoken to you.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, just hurry up. And then you go through the game, and it's like, jump on this one, and then do this quick dash move and take it out quicker, and then I have no love for this game whatsoever. I got to the boss battle, and it was basically like I was hitting it, I was doing what I was supposed to do, but the counter was never going down. It's like you had to play the boss fight for so many minutes before it would win. Kevin, can you remember this?
I can remember it. I can remember it very clearly.
It's awful.
There was, yeah, you were just jumping up and down over a boss. It was sort of trying to lead you into attacking from above, because there was this laser that would sort of fire and then come down to just above your head. So I think it was trying to make you think you were supposed to go over it and attack the boss from above. But in the end, it was just a case of shoot a bit, avoid him coming at you, go to the other side of the screen, turn around, shoot a bit. And there seemed to be no skill to it. There was no... You weren't even necessarily getting hit points, and after you did it for a certain amount of time, it just rolled over and died without it even being hit. And it was just, if you can survive 2 minutes, you beat this boss. That's just stupid.
Because you know there are a number of backers who backed this to the tune of 10 grand on Kickstarter. And,
well, I thought it looked like Mega Stan 2.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. This is what made me laugh when I got it through, and I thought, I've not got time to play this. I sent it to Aaron and everything. I thought it'd be quite fun talking about it on the show, because they basically took my my Mega Stand thing, where I basically just said to someone, design Mega Man but older and red, and they'd done it as just chunky, little, and blue. But Mega Stand 1 was better than this. By the looks of it. Only barely, mind.
So why don't you go get 10 grand for that, you simpleton?
That's what always winds me up about the internet, to be fair. I almost had a Kickstarter running this morning, but apparently you can't fund making your own country on Kickstarter. So my entire plan went down the toilet. But I just don't get how they must... I mean, to be fair, I'd like to read their pitch and find out who they spoke to. I've got a friend at work, a colleague, one might say, who I think I said just before. One of his best mates is responsible for making. His job is to make Kickstarters succeed. He just takes a little slice off the end of it. So if you work out a budget you want to achieve, you add his costs on top. You aim for that price. He goes and takes all the legwork on to try and help you get there. And I thought, Kickstarters for everyone. Let's go. You know, when he's telling me this, I just spent. I've taken a little notepad home that I'm going to start writing until I've come up with the perfect pitch, I think. But yeah, now I know that people are willing to chuck 10 grand at this piece of tripe.
Yeah, don't buy it. You won't have any fun. It just sucks all
Ever
fun.
again.
You won't though. I put it in, I played it a bit, and I've completely forgot about it until you just mentioned it, because it wasn't memorable. It was just boring. Yeah.
One of the big issues as well that they had.
What has happened to Sheepdog, by the way? You look like you're cowering under a table.
What? Because I had my hands like that.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the other problems they had was they released the codes. I don't know if I'm doing a Gareth Bale thing at you now. They released the codes for everyone who bought it, but all they did was sent everyone on PS4 the DLC code twice instead of the game code. I think everybody on Xbox just got some broken code that didn't work, and whatever other platforms like PC and whatnot, if it's on that, I can't remember now, but generally nobody really got to play this game at release. It was a bit of a mess up, and because presumably they'd set up 101 automatic tweets, the Twitter account was just all hunky-dory and joyous, and posting a picture of the character and talking about the game and acting like everything was great, and then every response was just, why are you not not acknowledging us. Your entire game's sinking. People have spent 10 grand on this, and just really, really hammering them, and they just weren't reacting to it. They did a Twitch stream of them playing the game, and every comment was just, "Why won't you fix our problems?" And they were just banning anyone who was negative. And I just thought, again, how have they made so much money out of this when their PR and their ability to cope with the industry is
Well, it won't sell very well.
It doesn't matter. They've already had the money. That's the dangers and the horrors of Kickstarter.
But they've had the money to make the game, haven't they? Don't they?
I don't know if you. I'm probably going to get berated for being wrong here, but if you're familiar with programming, but the costs of building a game out of programming are basically funding wiping your ass and feeding yourself for 20 years, and a MacBook and Unity. Do you know what I mean? I am belittling it a bit because obviously there's marketing and 101 other things that you have to do. But the point is, if you can fund your living costs and you're creative enough, generally, in theory, not everyone's going to do this, and I know I'm wrong to an extent. In theory, if I was really good at art, as well as being really good at programming, as well as being really good at story making or whatever, I could make a game on my own without any funding, but I could also go to Kickstarter and get the funding and live at home doing it. And that's the mad thing about this is, depending on who you know and what you can do, and if you've got a team of people willing to be involved and a lot of goodwill, you can put it together.
Yeah, but that's fine, but they got that cost for this game. But if they don't make any money, no one else is going to buy their games in future years, because obviously you get more fame for the games that you make, and if it's an indie game and this is it's not going to do very well, in my opinion, in about 3 or 4 or 5 years they're not going to be anywhere. They're just going to be, I don't know.
But as far as you're right, but as far as business punts go, they've had their lives paid for the entire time they spent making these. Maybe not. I'm not talking about luxury lives where they're going around in limos, but if you could churn out 15, 20 grand a year and stay at home all the time, I'd be quite happy with that. And again, I'm sort of minimalising it, but all they need to do is learn from that and go and change the name of their company or get someone else to kickstart it. And do you know what I mean? If I made it was a washout, and then Kev kickstarted it, but I was still making it with some of the money, and that one was better. Or maybe if his was crap and we just got Pav to kickstart it. Do you know what I mean? We could technically between the 4 of us, we could kickstart 4 different games across 20 years and never work another day in our lives. It's like, I shouldn't really be putting this all out on the internet live, but it's the perfect plan.
Okay, in an unrelated story, Sheepdog has got a Kickstarter ready to start with a game that's going to be brilliant.
No, I told you, my Kickstarter was to make my own country where people learned how to vote, but Kickstarter wouldn't let me have it. Kickstarter just wouldn't let me, so I had to leave it be. That's it for games, isn't it, I think?
Forever. How do you feel?
I bought Battlefield Hardline. I've never bought a Battlefield game in my life, and
no one really understands why you bought this one.
Because I didn't know that EA was having a massive sale, and I thought an EA game for $3.99 that's less than a year old. I was like, okay, I'll have a go. And then before I went on the pay, I looked at a YouTube video, and it was like Cops and Robbers. I was like, it's a bit like Sleeping Dogs, a little bit. Because Lucy Lou's in Sleeping Dogs. Is it Sleeping Dogs? Am I getting that right?
Walking Dogs, yeah.
Yeah. I like this game. It's I've got it on the easy setting because I've never played a Battlefield game. I didn't know what to expect, and I thought it started. I was like on a drug bus, and I'd burst into this room and shoot these people, and it's like, that's fun. And then it told me how to drive. I was like, no, not drive. I hate driving in games. Not very good at it. If I've not had a good 3 hours of driving around in a game, I'm never going to be good at it. But it was fine. It took me 3 tries. I just got around the little course that it was showing you. I like it. It's basically you're a guy who's in the police force doing the good, finds out that there's corrupt cops, and you in the end get told that you're the corrupt one, and you basically go off to prison. The game starts when you're on the prison bus, and then it goes back 3 years to see how you got there, and then when you get back to the prison bus, that gets exploded, and then the game carries on. I don't know how, like, they put a bomb. Blown up, there we go. And then you go from there about how you're going to make your name be clear and find these corrupt cops and show and, like, you know, make them pay, basically. And I think I'm on the last level, so I played it all week. When you go, you can pick your gear as you go into an area. I always have the armor and a grappling gun because I don't like going face forward in events. I like to go around the back and take people out. So I'm like, I'm doing Batman basically. So I'm up on the roof and taking out people.
Doing Batman, did you just say?
Doing Batman, yeah, I'm doing the Batman. And you have don't look at me like that. You are, because you got a grappling gun.
Well, I wasn't looking at you. I was just glancing up at the screen, see what the happy hat was.
And yeah, so you go in, you got an objective, you go and do that, and you can also get intel on other investigations that you've got going on. So you can go around an area and scan with your scanner, and it will pick up where evidence is. And now sometimes it's like hidden, but it's in plain sight, but you can't see it, if you know what I mean. So your scanner is good because it will just highlight it up in green, and then you can find it better. Because sometimes I'm walking around the same area thinking it's like 2 meters away. Where is it? Where I can't find it. So that's kind of cool. So you've got these investigations in the background going on, and then you've got what's going on in your main story. The shoot, if you're on easy, it's just a quick couple of shots and they're down. But it's a really good game. It's for $3.99. I was like, I can't really say no to that because I didn't know, like I said, EA was having a massive sale. So I played that as well, and I've nearly finished that. So it's basically 2 finished games in 2 weeks. Hello, Kevin.
Hello there. Are we ready to talk about movies and TV yet?
Did you do your eye thing?
Pardon?
Your eyes. Your colour blindness thing.
Oh yeah, I may have been going through the wrong test, and it was actually the one to pick a style of spectacle frame. I now know that I suit basically this pair of glasses. Is what it came out with. So I already own a pair of barbecue glasses, it seems. No. This is the kind of glasses that a man who drinks coffee and eats barbecue food would wear. So
now onto the colourblind test, Kevin.
Yeah, I've put it to one side for now. I've got bigger fish to fry. Oh, fish. I've got bigger fish to fry at the moment because we've got movies and TV to discuss.
Yep.
I watched Zootopia.
Never heard of it.
It's like your world is animals instead of humans. So you've got a bank clerk that is a sloth, and it's just people as animals, really. Carry on, sheepdog.
Yeah, you've nailed it, basically. They live in... Well, it's about a rabbit who wants to become a police officer, but rabbits and other small rodent-y veggie animals, herbivores, don't really, especially small ones like rabbits. There's never been a rabbit police officer because rabbits aren't police officers. They work on farms and stuff, which is, where she was raised.
That's the last place you'd trust a rabbit. They'd eat all the lettuce. But
they're connoisseurs. So they grow all the little bits and bobs that they grow, and so she decides she's going to go be a rabbit cop. Everyone doubts her, and full disclosure, when I went in to see this with my kids, I thought it was going to be about a group of animals travelling to Zootopia, which was going to be like a mythical place and a load of animals along the way. What it was actually just that the rabbit moves to Zootopia to become a cop, the first rabbit cop, gets put on traffic duty. And is really annoyed because she's just basically a glorified, ticket person who walks around ticketing cars. While she's doing that, she solves a couple of crimes, but then also sees a wily fox that's conning people. And nobody likes foxes because they're all con artists and wily, naughty people who just do naughty things. And so she sort of hates on him, but then obviously they realise that they've got a lot in common and they get on really well, and they stumble across a great crime that they have to solve. So it's actually a cop buddy film, but they're animals, and it's a fox and a rabbit as the unlikely cop duo solving the crime of the century in Zootopia. Idris Elba plays a ginormous bison type thing. I think it was a bison, yeah, something like that. He's head of the police. Like Anna said, there was a sloth running the DMV. There's like weasels that are naughty and cheaters that work for the police, and a massive rhino and that kind of. So it's just, I think the big thing is that they uncover a fact that all the carnivores in Zootopia, because it's like carnivores and herbivores living side by side in this perfect world where everything's great. I think they all just eat veg. I couldn't really tell. I was wondering how the carnivores were sustaining themselves, but all the carnivores were slowly snapping and starting to murder herbivores to the point where they were starting to hate on carnivores and lock them up and whatnot. And that's the whole kind of cop stories. She's got to find out why people are being murdered and stuff, and why these carnivores keep snapping.
And this is a kids' film.
Yeah, it's a genuinely good film. Older Gamer said in the chat that he saw it with his daughter and it's all right. My kids really enjoyed it, and I just went along with it. Really, I suppose I was just it was fun. I enjoyed it. I was trying to figure out who made it, whether it was like a Pixar or whether it was, I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's
Disney.
It's just Disney in itself, yeah.
You sort of think to yourself, well, what were the adverts at the start when I was probably phasing out or in the toilet or something?
Have you seen that trailer for the adult cartoon with the sausages in it?
Yes.
That's so funny.
It calls like Sausage Party or something like that.
Something like that.
That name has connotations, Pab. That's a naughty name.
Yeah, I know.
I've shown you the trailer, haven't I?
Yeah.
Don't show me.
It comes across all unassuming, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so funny.
It looks all Pixar-y and friendly and like nicey, and then something happens in it. It's like you're like, oh god, this is.
I want to take the kids to see this.
Maybe like Seth Rogen and all that sort of group who did the sort of films.
Yeah, everyone should watch that trailer, just not with your children. Yeah. It's like Sausage Fest or something. Yeah. I'm not quite
What's
sure.
the new rock film out where the tagline is "All you need is a small heart and a large Johnson"?
That's Central Intelligence.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's a really bad tagline. It's just the wrong kind of message for the type of film they're doing. But I guess
it's not wrong, is it? It's not wrong.
Once they thought of it, they couldn't unthink of it, and they had to go with it, I guess. Older Gamer qualified in the chat that his daughter's 25, not like my 7-year-old and my 3-year-old who really enjoyed it. But other than that, I can't think of any films that I watched. It's just been football and stuff all week otherwise, really, other than TV stuff. Not to go into major stuff with the football, because obviously it's not really gaming or TV related, but I was very impressed when I got to work and they just said, we're not doing any work this afternoon, we're going to watch the football. Did you have any luxury like that?
Yes,
I watched the game.
I watched it on a screen the size, well, it was on the wall of the assembly hall, so awesome. It was massive.
That's really nice. So I remember being at school and them doing that, and it was just like the greatest day of school ever kind of thing, because everyone was just in the mood and going nuts. I didn't think that happened anymore, because last time I was in a place like that, everyone just ignored it and we missed it. But I like the fact everyone did that this week. That was really cool.
Indeed.
Well, there you go. I am pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sat in my terraced seating with chant. Obviously, I'm the one sat there with the year 10s shouting their dirty songs that I have to try and pretend I'm not hearing or deal with. Why couldn't I go and sit with a nice little year 7s at the front? They were just politely sipping on a carton of juice. That's where I should have been sat.
Did you watch any films?
No,
watched
I
one.
don't think we have.
What have you watched, Pork and Beans?
I watched Mad Max this week. Have any of you guys seen Mad Max?
I'm not allowed to watch Mad Max.
Oh, you know? Why not? Someone else got off a train.
I've said this before. No, my friend bought me the Mad Max trilogy for my birthday about 15 years ago, and I opened it and was like, huh. And then my friends were like, good one, what the hell did you get him that for, you idiot? And started ripping him to shreds. So as a joke, I put it on the side and never opened it. And then I found it like a decade later and sold it at a boot sale. And it's just the ongoing joke that I've just never opened him because it was such a bad present. And actually, in reality, it was quite a good present. It was just that the joke on that particular day was quite fun to just lambast him for buying me a gift. So when the new one came out, I thought, well, I can't watch the new one when the other three I've not seen. So
You don't need to. It's a reboot.
I hear it's very good though.
It is.
Isn't it? How's it a reboot? It's got Mad Max in it, isn't it?
It's not Mel Gibson.
Wow.
It's Tom Hardy. Is Max in this?
Laurel's brother.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I see what you did there. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking, who's is he an arrow or something? You're trying to refer to it? I was like, no. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's a really good film, Mad Max. It's just it's a really. There's not even much. There is a story to it. I mean, the story is like Max is a cop who's just basically living in this wasteland because his family's been killed and he's just basically trying to survive. And then, like, I think it's at a similar sort of as the original where he gets basically captured immediately right at the start of the film. His car gets taken from him, and it's just like him surviving in this wasteland. And it's like I say, it's not a massive, like, big gripping story to it. It's good, but the film is more of a spectacle than anything. It's just amazing. The practical effects and stuff. There's very little CG done in this film. It's all practical effects in these big, like, I think it must have been Australia where they filmed it. These big, like, desert wastelands and these massive explosions and cars flipping over, and it is amazing to watch. It's something to behold. It is a wonderful film. I mean, like I said, the story is based on Charlize Theron's character Furiosa, who's basically trying to escape the big bad guy at the start of the film, and Max sort of like gets taken along for the ride, and it's basically Max is just like a side part of the story. He's not really the main character.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard people complain that it's a Mad Max film. Well, not complained, as I said, a Mad Max film, and the woman was the main character. Is that right?
Yeah. But that's not a bad thing.
Is she called Mad Maxine?
Yeah. She's called Furiosa.
That's not as fun.
No, but I mean, it's sort of like, I mean, they can make it. I think they are making a sequel to it, but they just do it again because the end of the. Well, I'm not going to spoil the end. It nearly spoiled the end of the film.
You know we don't do spoilers on this show, Pab.
Yeah. Basically, it sets them up to do another one, so you can easily do another film in this world. It is a really good film. Like I say, it's.
Were you gonna spoil it by telling us how they find out why the carnivores are killing everyone in Mad Max world?
Carnivores?
I'm just linking it to Zootopia again.
Oh, right. No. I don't think them two worlds are linked.
We just saw Pab's shirt, so hold on, let's just get back.
Yeah, there you go. Like I say, if you get a chance to watch it, if it's on whatever it is, Netflix, any of your streaming sites, or if you find it cheap, I would say go and watch it, because it is, like I say, it's something to you sit there watching it in awe, just like, this is amazing. So, like I say, the story's alright as well, so give it a watch.
Cool. I'm just looking around the room for something I can set off to alert the listeners.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was leaning forward to do an impression of the Game of Thrones spoiler klaxon.
We should get the Game of Thrones music. Yeah.
Oh, good. I hope he's not going to do the whole thing. Hold on, I've got a pen and paper. I'm going to draw the map while you sing the song.
I was going to say, to be fair, you could have just looped me going no, 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 and it would have done for most of the feature.
Yeah, I imagine the editor will do that for us.
At the right moment, one of you had to just be like, da, 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 da. That's pretty much how I spend the theme tune.
Anna fast forwards it sometimes, and
I
I
do know.
Yeah,
I do
no,
know.
I get
It's
so
too
upset.
long.
No,
It's
it's
2
not.
minutes
It's
long.
brilliant.
2 minutes long. I get 30 seconds in. I go right. That's enough. Now I've had me.
Yeah, it's
but,
basically the same.
It's basically 32 seconds in that they start showing what other areas you've forgotten
Yeah.
about that they're going to include in this one-off episode of them being in it. That's why I never used to really care, but then I noticed that they'll just randomly show the Iron Islands or and they don't normally do that. Or if Arya's going to be in the episode because they'll just show Braavosi in there and whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, so she's going to be in it because she's showing us it on the map. I'm pretty sure it's different every time. Maybe I'm just thinking of season on season, but yeah.
So was that enough of a spoiler? If you don't want to be spoilt for Game of Thrones, stop watching or listening now. Come back in 10 minutes, 5 minutes if you're on the video. Fast forward it a bit if you're on the old audio, listening to it afterwards. So yeah, Game of Thrones was a thing that happened this week. Has it made you two really make sure your dog was always full?
No,
he's had 3 meals a day since we watched that. I'm not letting that dog get hungry. You can't see him right now, but he's just lying on the floor going, I can't eat anymore. You bloody will. Feeding him on a spoon.
It's made me make all the giants I'm friends with wear some sort of armour, goggles.
Yeah,
and
he
stuff.
went in with nothing.
He came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, but he went in with nothing. Like, everyone else had a weapon. Give him a weapon.
He had loads of arrows.
Yeah, but he's got sharp things pointed at him. He's got nothing to defend himself.
I did wonder, if he'd have just picked up a horse by the leg and swung it around, or just plucked a few spears.
But
I'm just thinking the biggest thing that was available to him in that battlefield. But
the one bit that did annoy me in the whole thing was why didn't what's his name run in a zigzag?
Yeah.
Why did he run straight? I don't understand anyone who was getting shot at would not run in a straight line. I know John was coming for him.
She was trying to get to him as quick as possible.
Yes, but he was being shot at.
And he's about 9. He doesn't. He's perhaps not had the tactical running away from a man trying to kill you instruction yet.
I haven't, but I would know to run zigzag.
Yeah, but you know that from watching TV programs and stuff. It wouldn't just be instinct to you. Your instinct is, this man's shooting at me. I want to get as far away from him as quickly as possible. You'd just leg it.
But you'd still be going forward in a zigzag.
The better instinct would have been to just run backwards and watch where they were coming and try and dodge them, surely. You had enough time. It was far enough away that he could have dodged them. I don't mean to the centimetre, but he could have dodged them by just seeing, it's in the air, it's about 50 metres from me, I'm just going to roll diagonally left.
Yeah. Taunts him on the as he's waving, as he's running back. Come on then.
I'd have just been there, giving him the finger. I might have stopped for a piss.
Pardon? Pardon? It's the 9-year-old boy we're talking about.
I didn't mean a 9-year-old. I meant Ramsay. I'd have just stood still, had a wee, ducked out the way as he fired one. But I'm glad he's killed off Rickon. Although I'm still annoyed that the wolf died so quick. But I was reading after the show because the one thing that confused me was why Ghost wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And they literally said, they put it all down, they said, look, full disclosure, we had 3 dragons and a giant in this episode, and a fight scene that took us 25 days to film. It's the most expensive episode we've ever done. We tried to put apparently the dire wolf was in it a hell of a lot in the original version they made, and then when they started trying to do the CGI, they were like, this is just going to take forever, and it's going to cost a fortune. We could just say that, Snow's just in the background somewhere sick. But it was interesting because now they've killed one off. That basically suggests they will use the wolf in place of him in future for the CGI stuff. But really liked Daenerys' story. First time she's felt like her story. Well, first time in ages that it feels like her story is going to kick on and be massive.
There was some flirting going on with the girls.
Did you like how quickly that happened? I was quite surprised that they just turned up. It just cut to a scene and they're there in front of her talking.
Yeah,
and
they've got the slavers that are having a good old fight with them, and then it suddenly goes to where them two are there, and I was like, Kevin, what is happening? How are they there so quick? And it's like, well, this is a
time to her.
no, but it doesn't. In the show, it doesn't tell you that 2 weeks has passed or anything.
I kind of quickly in my head just thought I'd prefer it this way to them showing them get on a boat, showing them travel there, showing them get off and go, oh, do you reckon that's her temple? Oh, no, her temple will be bigger, and just wandering around trying to find the right temple. And, are you the Queen of Dragons? Are you the Mother of Dragons?
That's fine, but it seemed totally random where she's on a dragon doing the fire, and then she's in a house thing talking to them two, and I'm thinking, what happened? Did they win the fight, or did they not win the fight?
Well, apparently a fight wasn't necessary. They set fire to one boat, and then the slavers went, "Oh, we're defeated! You've set fire to one of our hundreds of boats that are here."
Yeah, she destroyed quite a lot of boats. I thought that was a really good battle. The attention to detail in that was ridiculous. Dragons looked amazing. They looked as realistic as you can get. She looked like she was actually riding it.
She was.
Aren't the other two quite small compared to what's his name?
They haven't had the chance to go out and grow.
Yeah, vitamin D deficiency. But the boats, considering the boats are being destroyed in the scenes, they looked really fleshed out and realistic and good and clever. And
but she needs some boats.
Well, she destroyed a few of them.
Got the other boats as well.
The
ones that turned up afterwards.
Yeah.
What they kind of established was between Theon's boats and the boats they stole from the slavers, they got enough to
stack them side by side and walk across them across the narrow sea. The plan is all coming together.
I said to my friend that because everyone was obviously, even me, was saying that Euron has exactly the amount of boats they said she needed. What a coincidence. I'm starting to think that now that she's already got boats, she's surely going to sail over there. I'm wondering whether they'll end up having a battle at sea, whether he'll try and do the whole, hello, it's me, I've got some boats for you, and she'll say, sorry, not interested, mate. Got boats, got a dragon, see you later. Interestingly, in the books, he's got a horn that helps him control dragons, and that's what he wants to take to her and say, marry me, I've got a horn, we'll control dragons together. But if he uses the horn as a risk, it might burn his lungs out and kill him. So he hasn't used it yet because he doesn't know whether it will kill him. And I kind of figured, again, in the book that he'll probably blow the horn and die. But then someone like Tyrion will be like, I wonder if I can blow the horn, and discover they can. Because that's the only way I could think of him going like, I'll control a dragon. So in the show, they've not mentioned the horn at all, which suggests he hasn't got it in the show, which makes his whole I'm going to go and marry her thing just seem a little bit cocky and weird. But yeah, I reckon they're going to have a battle at sea, and she's going to end up losing half her army or something, but getting there enough to be a force, but not enough to just dominate, because it'd be a bit easy if she turns up with an army that's bigger than everybody else's and literally just walks through. She has to have some sort of setback on the way, surely.
Indeed she does.
So what about the Battle of the Bastards then?
It was an interesting one. There was some very poor military tactics from the Stark team, Team Stark.
Riding straight at them on your own with no one else around you was quite crazy, but that was part of the mind games. And it set up that brilliant scene of him just about to be run down, just about to be killed, and then everyone clatters in. I really enjoyed that. He killed a lot of his own men, didn't he, in battle?
Well, I said to Anna at the time, how do you know who's on your team and who's on the other team? I can't think of many other times. I'm not really a battle watcher, I suppose, in films and that, but I can't think of another battle I've ever seen that seemed so realistic in that he was just killing anyone who came near him and moved, basically, and everyone was. And I can't believe how well they shot it. Just the whole, they're in the battle, in and out. Normally it's really quickly and at a weird angle. This just felt like we could have seen every inch of that battle. We could have walked around it if we'd had a virtual reality room. Do you know what I mean? It just seemed really like immersive, and every angle was covered, and it was very in depth. I don't know, just
There was loads of things. Just the fact I loved the whole kind of. I mean, this is something that the Avengers was really good at. That you'd have someone creeping up to kill a character and then just getting sideswiped, and then another thing sideswiping them, and they were stacking up deaths really well. And I just thought it was an amazingly choreographed battle. It was amazing. It was brilliant.
Was rather splendid. And then the man of 1,000 voices turned up.
Yeah, that was weird that they used that kind of generic. Oh look, the army turns up just as all is lost. I felt that was predictable, but I guess it didn't feel too bad. I was buzzing after the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you, when they first turned up, oh, there's soldiers here, did you instantly know it was him? Because I was like, oh, who on earth might this be?
Well, yeah, because Sansa wrote a letter to him saying, come.
Yeah, but some of us don't pay attention to all those little details. I'm like, oh, there's a new team on the pitch. Who are they going to attack?
The flags all had the little birds on them that are Littlefinger's bird as well.
Means something to me.
I was really impressed with their tactic of surrounding them and just poking them to death. Although I did wonder why none of them thought to just hold the end of the stick and push it back. I don't know if you've ever. I've only ever done this twice when I used to do Wing Chun, but they teach you how to fight with long poles with no pointy bit on the end. But it's really hard. You have to hold one end and use your strength to make the other end hit hard and stuff like that. And that's generally how these spears would work. But if you had somebody else just hold the other end of it, you kind of, it's you v them, and their stance is not in the right position for that. So I kind of just thought, people could have just slanted sideways and been, away from the stabbiness, or they could have just held the end of the spear and not let them jab. But I liked how it all seemed lost, and I genuinely thought Jon Snow might die for a split second when he was under all those people and they were just trampling him, and it just didn't seem like he was going to get out. Him, Tormund, and One I thought were going to die when they all come strutting out. I'm pretty sure that, not the new tablets, I'm pretty sure that cured my depression. Because I was buzzing so much after that. I couldn't get my head around how hyperactive I felt after. I said to Claire, I've not felt that kind of excitement and tingle in about 2 years. It's ridiculous how long it's been since I felt that kind
She just turned to you and said, I love you too.
I meant yeah. I was just on cloud nine from it. I was just so in awe and impressed, and yeah, so that was good.
And then you went and fed the dog just to make sure.
I told you I'm keeping her. She's right next to me. She hasn't eaten in weeks, and she knows her place. She's curled up in a ball.
That's
she might not even be alive.
Thought.
I don't even know if she's breathing, to be fair.
How did Sansa release said hounds? Why were they not already eating him? They all seem to be in the same room.
I
think they were released in like a back room.
Yeah, there's like hound keepers, isn't there?
Yeah.
Kennel maids.
Yeah.
That told me. And seeing that dog rip his face off was wonderful.
Hmm.
He had it coming, didn't he?
Yeah, but they won't have Winterfell for long because of Littlefinger's when he had that meeting with the Queen Mother and she wants him to kill Ginger Girl.
She won't get killed. She'll kill Littlefinger. He's so dead.
He's got a little finger.
No, he's going to worm his way in, if anything.
He wants to be the Warden of the North. If you remember a couple of... I don't know if it was...
He will be the Warden of the North now, though.
But he's Warden of the West,
Bran will turn up next episode. He'll be Warden.
Episode, isn't he?
Bran's on his way back, isn't he?
If Bran comes back to Winterfell, he'll bring the bloody White Walkers with him, won't he?
Yeah, and then they can all be Warden of the North.
Yeah. And then Arya turn up as well, and you got it all back together.
Yeah, she might be on her way back.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I think he'll
And then the four of them will combine and become...
Well, she says she's going home,
what's
didn't
his
she?
face again?
Megazord.
Yeah, like a Megazord.
I was wondering whether, I suppose they can't do that, whether any of the
dead
they
can't
Starks...
have a Megazord in Game of Thrones.
No. I was wondering whether any of the dead Starks have become White Walkers, but it's just skeletons, isn't he? What else was I going to say there? I think he'll try and use the fact that he did Sansa a favour to make her marry him or whatever, but I think she'll just say, what have I, you've already done the fight, mate. What could I possibly lose now? I've got my army. I've got my my home back. I've hung the banners. Look, there's a dog outside the window, and everyone here likes me. I'm a Stark girl, and I've just taken back Winterfell. You've got a little finger and a weird accent.
Many weird accents. What
Yeah.
accent's that today, Littlefinger? Well, oh, you're Irish today, are you? That's interesting. You're not usually, are you? Just sometimes.
But if he does somehow lock him up and take over, it'll be just as the White Walkers decide to annihilate him. And
I don't think that'd happen.
he's not going to be successful. If he's successful at the end, then this show's a joke.
He's too
Yeah,
slippery.
he ends up on the Iron Throne. It was always the story of Littlefinger.
It'd be ridiculous because I always feel like the story of him is he's really cocksure and thinks that he's the master of playing the whole kind of chaos and that he can just get away with it, but he's going to fall short because he's not a player like Cersei or Varys or Sansa's turning into a better player already, and there's loads of people who are better than him in the chain of players. So, and he hasn't got dragons like Daenerys, and he can't come back from the dead like Jon Snow. So, what's he got going for him? A bird on a flag and his little finger.
Exactly. So, predictions for the final episode of the season, which is just 2 days away. What do we think is going to happen?
The
No
wall's going to
idea.
fall. I
I think the
reckon.
wall's going to fall, do we?
Yeah. I think that the Bran will try and get through to leave the wall. I reckon we'll find out that if he tries to go down, that they'll come over, but then they'll find some. I think they'll find some way around that to make us think, oh, it's all okay, and then they'll have the Horn of Winter, which brings down the wall. That's what I'm expecting. I think Cersei's going to blow up King's Landing, or set that in motion. She'll have a trial by combat surely at some point. Maybe
Look,
that'd be
she
good.
can't
Yeah,
have
got
that
it.
now. She's not allowed it.
No, but she's got no, that's not quite what I meant. She'll basically she'll get the mountain to kick people's asses for her, is what I was trying to say. I wonder whether they'll save it till next year, or whether her son will say something against her and the mountain will just kill him, because that'd be great. It'd be good to see him get killed. But at some point, the Hound needs to fight the mountain.
Oh,
Make
he's
it
back,
happen
isn't he?
now.
What did Anna say then?
He's back now, the Hound.
Yeah.
I liked him. They took their time though, telling us that he was still alive, but yeah, he's back. I like him. He's funny.
I can't think what they'll do. I imagine they'll have to have some sort of Daenerys story at the start that just says we're setting sail, and just to kick that off, and maybe she'll be sailing off. But then that can't be like the final. What's confusing me is in my head I can just think of loads of different final scenes that I can play out the episode with, but they can't exactly have the wall fall and then just cut to Daenerys having a conversation and sailing off into the sunset. They can't have Cersei blow up King's Landing and then the wall fall, and then it doesn't work. They're all final scene moments. So
Well, I'm sure we'll find out.
oh yeah, no, I've just been asked to predict.
Oh,
You know.
did you? Oh, weren't listening.
So I'm kind of just. What else do you think could happen?
I'm just fighting with a dog. Hold on, I think he's not been fed. He was trying to bite my face. I don't know if anyone saw that, but his mouth was on my face for a second there. And, so I need to give it more food because I'm terrified now. Oh.
Who else? Because Arya's story's done, so she can't have any kind of closure, can she?
Well, she'll come home. She'll be on the boat with Daenerys. They'll pick her up on the way. She'll be shipwrecked with Shepherd and Locke on the way.
But so Tyrion and Daenerys can't really have any, and Theon and whatever is his name, Asher. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Asher Greyjoy. Yeah. So the four of them and Arya don't really have anything that can really happen to close them any more than they already have. Beyond, let's set sail. Sam can't really. He's nicked his dad's sword and done a runner. So what can really happen there?
Yeah, that's wrapped up for me. Until next season.
Jaime's wrapped up because he's already got the castle.
To be fair, I have seen screenshots of Jaime in for the last episode, so he is in it at some point. I don't know doing what exactly.
Yeah.
I imagine he's gonna get the order to go and get Winterfell back, isn't he? He's already out and about.
That or he heads home, maybe. Heads home because he hears that his son's been an idiot and he's going
to go and kill himself another king.
Oh,
he can't kill the king with the mountain, surely. Brienne and Podrick don't have any more to do. They were just rowing off. They're going to probably bump into Gendry in the river. Just like bump boats and be like, "Where are you rowing?" I don't know. Just let's keep going. Who else is there? I mean,
nobody.
Sansa and Jon, the Wall.
There's what's his face, Mr. Dragon Arms.
Who's Dragon Arms?
Yeah,
perhaps be a whole episode of him trying to find a cure. A real cliffhanger season finale. It's just him at the chemist's for 90 minutes. Trying different creams.
Yeah. How many times do we apply this? 3 times a day? Okay.
I'd love that.
Davos will want to kill Melisandre, won't he? For murdering that
she
little girl.
just sort of disappeared, didn't she?
I think she knows she's going to die, and that her job's done, basically. She knew she had some sort of role to play, and she thought it was with Stannis. Then she thought it was with Jon Snow. Then he died. She brought him back, and now she doesn't feel like she's got any powers anymore. And Davos is giving her the evil eye, the wonky, you know, I know what you did last summer. So I think he'll tell Jon, and then him and Jon will go and confront her and kill her. And again, it's not really a cliffhangery thing. It's something that's the sort of thing you'd have happening in the first 10 minutes.
Is that what he was doing, Davos?
Yeah, he found
that little sheep or whatever it was.
Yeah, he found the unburnable wood.
Yeah.
Isn't it made out of burnt wood already? You can't burn burnt wood.
Isn't burnt wood what charcoal is? I'm pretty sure you can burn charcoal.
No, not. I'm talking about like just black wood that's been burnt a little bit. I don't know.
Well, that makes it impossible to burn it anymore.
I don't know. I'm sure he did talk about it being made out of something, didn't he? At the time when he made it, I'm sure he did.
Elephant bones.
To be fair as well, just finding that next to a fire doesn't mean that she was burnt to death. It means that she might have been a really, really rude gift receiver who just lobbed it on a fire or dropped it or whatever. He's led to a bit of a conclusion that she must have burned her at the stake, but then I suppose he knows that she insisted she come and knows that they needed king's blood to try magic and stuff like that, so God knows.
Right, that's enough Game of Thrones. Where's my? I'm close to leaning back to get my pop vinyl out to show everybody my my bored silly Kevin pop vinyl, but I'll leave him there for now. What other telly have we watched this week? I assume we're just keeping up to date with Preacher and Outcast.
You caught up now.
I've not watched either.
Well, you're a monster.
See, Preacher's starting getting good this week for me.
The Preacher himself was barely in it. I'm not sure I like the direction it's going. I want it to be like the comic, and it's not.
Yeah, I find that as well. I don't know where this is going. I don't know how, but certain aspects. I don't know who that fellow is either. I mean, I imagine you probably know the Kin Cannon or something like that. Is it the bald fellow that runs like the big business there, who like sort of runs the show? You know what I'm talking about?
No. But then I only watch on my iPad whilst I'm watching it washing up, so I'm not that involved. So if he doesn't say a lot, I don't know who he is, because I only look over when people are talking.
The guy who the Preacher convinces to
oh yes, him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the big. He's like, to me, comes across as like the big bad in that town. He's the one that runs the place, and he's the one that, you know, if anything, he runs the big business. So if anything, he could just like close the business down or whatever. You just have everyone out of work immediately, and he just literally had him in the palm of his hand sort of thing, didn't he, straight away? Which is quite good.
That's how it rolls.
Yeah,
if it doesn't turn, pretty soon it needs to become him trying to find God, and if it doesn't, then the whole purpose of it is just stupid. I want him to go and hunt God. That's what Preacher's supposed to be.
Have we seen the cowboy yet? We haven't.
No.
I say that for me in that first 3 books of him just tracking, you know, trying to track him down, that's what made it for me. You know, that initial run, and then he's going to turn up again somewhere, I imagine, in the comics as well. So you can see, just nod, yeah. So yeah, And to be fair, I'm quite enjoying the two angels, the British fellow. Well, I don't even know if they are British actors, but they're playing British angels, aren't they? And they come across more like comedic effect than they do in the comic. They seem like just there to have their heads
eat
knocked
crisp
off.
really slowly while the phone's ringing.
Yeah, and then just basically fodder for Cassidy to keep messing with.
I'll stick with it, but I'm not enjoying it anywhere near as much as I enjoyed the book. Outcast. On the flip side.
Yeah.
I said to Anna while we were watching it, I can't talk to you about this program because I don't know which bits I'm remembering from reading it and which bits I'm remembering from being on telly, because it is pretty much identical to the book.
Really?
So I now don't know what stuff's happened on telly and which bits have happened in one of the 20 issues of the comic that I've read, and it's messing with my head a little bit.
See, I told you that
because
when I read it.
But it's often issue 1 and episode 1 are very close together, and then they move apart. It's like with Walking Dead. But this episode this week of Outcast, I got halfway through, and I just thought, is this last week's? I'm certain I've seen all this already. And it was only about halfway through that I realised it was because I'd read it, and it is identical. And they need to pack that in, because what's the point of releasing the story to a suspense-filled horror program a year in advance for people to read word for word?
I'm glad I'm not reading it now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's an excellent book. I really enjoyed reading it, but they've got to diverge from it a little bit. They can't do it scene for scene because it's just silly.
Is it not in any way more graphic in the book? Because I know we get away a lot more in the comic book than the TV program.
A little bit, maybe, but
nothing major.
No, it's just, I don't know.
See, I was back on board with this week, because last week's episode seemed like a bit of a slowish one to me, maybe. Two was very much all about his mother, wasn't it?
Mm.
And it was all about trying to understand it all. Whereas this one became like, almost, I don't know if I'm right in saying this, it's almost a villain of the week. So the thing with this guy who turns up, and who's like a story about just this guy, and is this how they're going to go about this in future with the reverend, what is he, a reverend or whatever he is, and the kid, just go around solving, like, sorting these cases out of possessed people and trying to find out his story. Is this where it's going?
True, I can't speculate because I know the answer.
Yeah,
assuming
you've read too much now.
Assuming they're going to follow the comic, I don't know how many issues this season is going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm 19 or 20 issues into the comic, so that's going to get me through the end of the season probably.
Oh yeah, comfortably.
If not through season 2.
Yeah, easy. Yeah,
so
probably.
I know exactly what's happening. I know exactly where they're going with it, and I know what this week's episode was about, and it's annoying me, and I want it to change now because I'm really enjoying it. Apart from these little bits where I just get confused, I'm not sure what's going on because I can't remember what I've watched.
Yeah, because it didn't explain who the fellow with the cutthroat razor was. He just seems to turn up having a shave, and then was it at the end of that turned up?
It was like, the next door neighbour was dead.
Yeah,
with
and
the
he was
razor
just on the
next
floor.
to his of blood. Yeah.
And they don't explain who the guy is, who the woman keeps seeing.
It was
her
her ex. Oh yeah, we didn't know.
They don't really explain it who it was. It just sort of, she seems to be like afraid of him, or you know what I mean. You see it, and you're like, oh, well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. That and Preacher just are compelling shows at the minute for me. So yeah.
I'm safe to speak. Yeah, because.
Yeah, so you need to watch. You need to literally stop reading ahead of yourself if you know it's going to happen.
But
you've read too much now.
It's the first time it's ever hit me in this way where they've been completely identical.
Well, he said that though, didn't he? He said that he made it. I think I listened to a podcast with him recently. He sold that program before he even wrote the comic.
I said that on this podcast 2 weeks ago.
Well, I listened to a podcast with Robert Kirkman, and that's exactly what he said as well. He said that they sold it based on a rough idea of what he had in his head, and he said right, okay, we'll have it, and he had to make it this way. It's pretty much going to be like for like, maybe graphically cut down a bit just for what they can't show on television.
Mm.
And that's the sad thing for you because you've read far too much ahead now. So
I'll just stop watching it, and I'll just tell you all how the finale is at the end of the season. I'll tell you now, this happens.
Yeah.
No, I won't be mean unless you're mean to me. In which case, I shall be mean. Let's see what kind of gifts you get me. 'Cause it's my birthday very soon. Right, I think that is that for TV, comics, movies, and all that, isn't it? Oh,
I continue to watch Orphan Black, Anna.
How did you?
Yeah, last week I watched
Not
the first
very good,
episode.
is it?
Yes.
No,
It
not.
is pretty damn good.
I was watching it the other day and I watched the first episode again and I couldn't even make it to the second
You're right.
one.
The accents throw me off. Like I said last week, the first episode I was thinking, is she Australian? And I thought for the first episode she's Australian, and I got to the second episode, I said, no, she's meant to be English. And then that threw me a bit. But I got to the end of the second episode where a third turns up, don't they? Third of the girls turn up, and then you're like, okay, what is going on here? And then the next two episodes to start explaining it more and more, don't they? Sheepdog knows all this. And I got to, what did I get to? I've forgotten what's happened in these last two episodes. It just seems to be going. She seems to be getting herself deeper and deeper into this whole of like being this police officer. The foreign blonde woman turned up, Sheepdog. That you said, is it the one that you said you liked?
Yeah, she's the best character in it.
The one that's like cutting herself a set of wings out on her back.
Yeah, she's a bit of a monster.
Yeah, she's like a crazy person.
Properly messed up, but
Yeah.
she's one of the better characters in it over time.
Right. Okay. So yeah. I mean, fair play to the actress because she's got to do a hell of a job just to play all these different people. Because I mean, imagine there's umpteen different ones start turning up as the season goes on, sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was reading a thing that said there's something like 25 now.
Oh God, that must be a night. I mean, I hope she's getting paid for multiple roles rather than just one job.
Yeah, I was thinking this. She's got to be getting 25 times the bloody contracts out of this.
Yeah.
But Anna, you can't keep just not watching past episode 1.
I can't do with her. She annoys me so much.
But that's just one character out of 25 potential characters.
But she's the same person.
She's the main character, though. She's the main character as well.
She's the main character, but the point is she plays so many other different people that you don't watch any program for the main character usually. You like the ensemble cast.
I'm alright. I tried.
I
just can't.
I'll give it another 2 episodes again. Every single time it's good, it gets another 2 episodes. So we'll report back with 5 and 6 next week.
Fair enough. I can't think any off the top of my head where I'd say, oh, when you get to this one, it's bad. But there's bound to be 1 or 2.
How many episodes are in a season?
10, I think, maybe
10.
less.
Okay, so it's not like 25.
It might even be 6 or 8 at first. I can't remember.
Okay,
but,
well, that's good for me. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm halfway through Orange is the New Black.
Halfway. Deary me.
Anna finished it by this time last week.
Yep.
No, I know she had. I'm trying to think what happened where I am. They had a problem and they opened a window to solve it. They used a window to solve the problem, and the problem is now not a problem. That's basically where I am, and it's very funny. It's very good. On an arm with a burning piece of iron.
Oh yeah.
That was very graphic, and the acting on that kind of kicked up a notch. I actually thought, because normally you don't really think about the acting when you're watching it. It's just a comedy with a bit of drama in it, but the acting seemed really good this season. And God, they really found ways to just keep it going. I was so convinced it was just going to be, Alex and Voss kind of want to be girlfriends again.
It's not about them anymore, though. Oh, it's awful at the end. It is awful.
Don't spoil anything.
Tell him what happens.
I'm not going to tell him what happens, but it's awful.
Yeah, but you've spoiled it already now, because now I know something awful is going to happen.
It's but something awful always happens. Like with Di and a baby. That was awful.
To be fair, I don't know who or what. I remember being really annoyed last week because somebody was talking about how satisfying the end of Game of Thrones was, and I just thought, well, now I know Ramsay dies, you idiot. I was just like, you've got to be a special kind of fucking dick to go on Twitter the day something comes out.
Now, where's my bleep button?
Sorry, mate. But no, I had a rant at something else about this on Facebook.
Well, no, awful. Like it
No, you're
depends.
fine. I'm not saying about. I mean, Orange is the New Black has been out over a week and barely, and I've seen most of it. I suddenly realised right now it hasn't. I was thinking more of a listener there, but Game of Thrones hadn't even aired in the UK at normal time. They'd watched it at 2 a.m. or they'd pirated it. And then they were all over Twitter saying what a satisfying episode it was and how it blew them away. And I was thinking,
I've just told people it's safe to come back because we're finished with Game of Thrones. Don't finish that sentence.
Sorry, okay. But yeah, if you'd have been like, oh, I don't know, I can't think of an example. But
Yeah, but there can be lots of awful.
no, exactly. That's why I was going to be like, oh man. Then I thought actually, there's so many characters who could end up with a tragic ending.
Yeah. It's not even. Can't even.
Oh, actually spoiled it for him. That's fine.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's truly, it's like,
It's good.
that hurts. Yeah, it's
this character and this character.
I'm not going to say who it involves, but the whole build.
Stop it!
Oh, this is wonderful.
No, you're halfway through, so you've got about 6 episodes to go.
Yeah, I watched them over the weekend.
Yeah.
Because one thing is, I can't remember what it was. Someone did spoil another program for me, but I can't remember what they said now. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, stop trying to remember what they said because you're all right. You're through. I can't think what else it was. What else I watched? I don't know. There's nothing else on telly at the moment. I know Outcast and Preacher are your two things. I just can't bring myself to. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I've not heard anything that makes me go, cool. But I haven't really heard anything other than what you've said.
To be fair, you could equally read the comics of them and be happy with not seeing the TV programs by the same.
Yeah,
time.
Might do
certainly
that.
The Preacher, the comics better, and Outcast,
And
is the
Outcast is
same.
exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Is there anything else actually on at the moment other than those 5 shows?
There's the Euros, sheep.
Yeah, football.
Anyone's watching.
There's a Great British Sewing Bee.
Right, it's.
Stowing.
Sewing, yeah. They had activewear this week. It was They
What
had,
do they do?
they had that
Spoilers.
they had that alteration challenge, and we know them snowsuits in the 80s that people
What's
go to
happening?
the ski
Hold on.
resorts. They had to get them and
So they come in and they say, this week's challenge. So it's like the Bake Off. This week's challenge, you have to build the Eiffel Tower out of cake. Then like you have to knit a ski suit.
yeah, their first one was to make some yoga like activewear, and then they bring in the suits that they used to go skiing in, that all-in-one thing.
I don't know what's happening.
That comes
I
in,
don't
and they have to
understand.
pick one, and then they have to alter it into something different and new. And that's what it was this week, and I just thought it was quite funny.
Is it filmed live? Can I turn up and ask them to design clothes for?
No, but it's on either a Monday or Tuesday. But Kevin watches it with me.
I'm just gonna stop beating the microphone with bored silly Kevin. It's him who watches it
But
with
you
me.
watch it.
No, I play Football Manager. It's like all those things that you say I watch.
But you go, oh, do they know how to make this? Have they had? Do you always ask
That's
me
because
questions?
in the same way as Sheepdog was just asking you questions, I don't understand how it's a program.
You like them. You like British Bake Off and you
That's
like
because
Sewing
Bake Off's
Bee.
good.
I'm intrigued because it's just a bit random. It's just like sew this and then they just do a montage.
The pottery
Do you know
man
how
that
hard
cries.
things like they had to do baby grows? They are so complex. Like I used to put them on the kid, not thinking for anything. But the way to make
Do they fast forward through all that? Because like in the cooking thing, they'll just
kind of. They show through a process
Roll a
and
pizza.
stuff. Are we boring you, Kevin? Like you're
What?
boring me with your preacher talk.
Oh, I haven't even started on that yet. Don't worry. I'm
Do
trying to
they,
order pizza here.
do they work with much lycra?
Sorry.
Lycra.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the meat.
so Lycra has
Any
like
meat you've
4
got lying
different
around,
ways of
to be honest, it'll be
stretching.
fine.
So they had to use like a different lock
Just off the floor.
stitch. I think it was called a lock stitch
And then
or
just
something.
smother it in cheese.
And it was cool, and I enjoyed it, and I know Kevin enjoys it. But he's trying to be funny and talk
Do they have
over me.
like
So
a-
but you pack it in.
We
They have like a
don't
le-
talk about reality TV on this show.
But you
They have
talk
like
about
a
your
leather
people.
tanning episode. Do they
Pardon?
get to tan some leather?
It worked with PVC last week.
PVC.
Yeah.
I need a bell or something.
Like see-through PVC,
Hold on, I've
some
got
of them.
mute
It was a
buttons.
raincoat, and they had to change that into something. Okay, I'm going to go now, because Kevin's being annoying, because we have to sit through his boringness, but when actually something that's on TV and is fun,
But
and
it's
we can...
not our. It's right. We'll put this out there to the listeners. If you want us to talk about all the terrible reality TV shows,
No,
that are on
it's
TV,
the one thing I watch at the moment. I don't watch Big
so
Brother.
if you want a weekly section on the sewing bee,
She
tweet
would like
at
to.
MGUK
I was
podcast.
interested. I'm intrigued. I'm trying to think what other shows they can make. They've done pottery, sewing, and cooking.
I love pottery.
Put it in an iTunes review.
What else could they make, Kev? Give us an idea.
I don't know. Trying to keep a podcast on track.
Glassware. I'd love to see glassware. That would be awesome.
So, glassware, I'm on board.
See?
What about weaponry? Someone making weaponry. This
Oh, no,
week,
that is real. There is a real thing on that.
wow, this week we're going to forge an axe. A Viking axe.
Yep.
My dad tried to buy a Game of Thrones Longclaw sword at Comic Con,
Yeah.
and it had a wooden handle and everything. And then he's showing it to him, and then he turns it around and shows him the end, which has got the wolfy bit on it, the bear, or it must be a bear because it's from the Mormont clan. But it was made of plastic. My dad just handed it back to him and walked off. He was just like, "You've shown me this awesome sword, this awesome wooden carved handle, and then just a random tacky-looking plastic animal that you've stuck on the top and painted the eyes blue." He was just like, "No, I'm not." It was like 250 quid.
Mm.
Oh, there we go. First one in. Spent a 7 in the chat. I'd watch a reality TV section as long as there's Kev's sarcasm. There you go. So it might be back next week.
There you go. See, reality TV on my terms.
But we've got to see a pizza turn up next week.
Not talking over and answering my salient questions though.
You don't know what that word means.
Well, he used it, so he
Salient
must
points means they're good questions or good points or important points. The integral parts of my conversation.
We'll see.
I probably still haven't used that in context, but anyway. Yeah, no, I'm intrigued. I don't think I'll watch it, but not out of any kind of spite. I just think, like, I can't imagine sitting through it. I don't sit through Bake Off, but I'm also always a bit intrigued about, oh, look, they've made the Eiffel Tower out of cake, stuff like that.
And a line out of bread, which Kevin thought was the best thing in the
That
world.
was the best thing in the world. That man had a beard.
It took me so long there thinking, how on earth did they turn lions into bread? Before I realised you meant the other way around. That took too long. I was genuinely looking at this picture on the wall just thinking, did they just churn them through until they turned into flour? I don't know. Just grind up the bones of lions.
This is what's happening now. Okay.
I've got, I'm just getting props ready for the next section.
Okay, I'll let you go on with your...
Anna, I saw a Plants vs Zombies comic series when I was doing my comic shenanigans.
Okay.
You'd read that, would you not? Plants vs Zombies. I'm not holding up now. I'm holding up the Buffy comic to hold my props up.
Oh,
Turn your brightness down.
What you writing down?
I'm not into
Brightness.
comics. I tried with Outcast, and I ain't got time.
No, don't read comics like that one. I mean, that's just Kevin being Kevin.
No, that was the one we bought from MCM.
because you wanted to read it.
I did, and I read the first episode of Pages, and then I stopped.
Yeah, but what I mean is
That's
a
what we call
Cartman
them as
comic.
well, an episode of Pages.
No, what are they
That is
called?
a
A
Cartman,
collection?
isn't it? I wouldn't recommend you go get into a Kirkman comic. I'd say go and get into something like the Saga one that we were reading, or Plants vs Zombies.
No.
I'm always shocked about how many. I think there's an Orphan Black comic. I think I'll read the Buffy comic. I bet there's probably an Orange is the New Black comic if you looked hard enough.
I'm not. I'm just not interested. I like the TV.
That's like saying you don't like TV.
That one. That's what you should read.
I don't want to.
What I'm trying to say is, it's like when people say I don't like podcasts, and I think, hang on a minute, you can't not like all podcasts.
But it's not that I don't like point blank. No, I've tried. I'm not interested. It doesn't do anything for me. It's just like it's a big picture book.
That's my point. That's all right. I get what you're saying about the picture book, but my point is, those picture books have been bad, but there will be picture books that are good. Just like if you tried whiskey and you didn't like it, you wouldn't stop drinking all alcohol as a result. You wouldn't try eating bread and decide I'm never going to eat again, or put on a pair of shoes, they're uncomfortable, I'm never going to wear shoes again. That's what I'm saying. You can't say I'm not a comic book person. You haven't found the comic that works, because there are even various levels of picture to word ratio. You know, you could get one that's barely any words, but it's some, and you could just read through it really quickly, or you could get one more book than, you know, just the occasional picture. That's why I keep saying random ones like, oh, there's a Plant vs Zombies one and that sort of thing.
I know, like it's an art.
There's an Assassin's Creed one.
I'm not interested. I want to watch TV programs and play the games. I don't want to read about them. I don't want more junk in this house. He's already taken over the dining room with junk. I don't need more junk to come in. Yes, junk. I have this. This is all I'm allowed. You're allowed a whole cupboard full of junk.
His name is Billy.
His name's Junk.
It's like you need a Billy too.
He's not having a Billy too.
It's already ordered.
Is it?
Excuse me?
What?
Well, it won't be, because I'll just smash it up when you're not here. I'll smash both of them up.
That's just mean.
What if there was a Fallout or a Borderlands
Tried
comic?
them. Didn't enjoy them.
Were they wordy though? I imagine they'd be wordy. Borderlands is
Just
wordy.
not interested.
To be fair, you're offering stuff up, Sheepdog, where there is a medium which is much more easily accessible, such as games.
That's
and
why,
TV
yeah,
programs.
you're right. That's why I thought Saga was a good one that Kev should have cut all the crap and offered you something that was different, because you can't get that anywhere else. But it doesn't sound like he's offered you that one. He's offered you all
It's on the shelf. It's on Billy.
I know, but you've offered her like, oh, you know how you really like passively watching The Walking Dead? Why not try and slog through 150 bloody books of it?
No, I tried.
Hey, she bought that herself on our first date.
But
Because,
I said to Claire, don't try and read the comics. There's too many of them. It would do your head in.
I didn't do my head in. I just got bored. It's like, oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said to her. I was like, you know the
but
story.
Kev was always like, oh, it's so different from the comics. So I was looking for differences, but there wasn't really any. And then I did Outcast, and it was like, it was the same. And then, like, I've looked at the Fallout ones, and it's like, it's Fallout. Like, I play the games and I watch TV. I don't want to read, because my time at the moment, I used to have this much time. I have like this much of time now to do things I enjoy, and things I enjoy.
Is that your version of 10 hours, what you just did there?
No, I don't have. I don't.
Black?
No, because I get up and Rue is always here. Rue hasn't been to school since January. I've had no free time until he goes to bed. So like I said, my time's gone from this to this. So in them 2 or 3 hours, I'd rather game and watch a TV program and not read comics. So that's the way I stand. I don't need another thing to put on top of my thing that I enjoy. So Kevin's got that. That's his thing. He can do that. While I'll be over here with my consoles, playing games and doing something I enjoy instead of flicking through pictures. But...
I thought you'd finish your sentence there. But it wrecks the end patter of the podcast when we do the...
Especially when you spend 20 minutes trying to convince her not to go every week. That's the main part that wrecks it. If we just said, right, Anna, we're doing comics now, toodle pip, she says goodbye, then we'd be done by now. But instead, it's the sheepdog. Anna, you will read comics. You will read comics. You wait until MGPX when we just constant sheepdog. We're not going to stop telling you until you play Destiny from start to finish because we know you're going to love it. Sheepdog, you haven't played Destiny right.
Kevin. Shh. There's 3 kids asleep. You're being very loud again.
Well, I want Sheepdog to hear me even if he takes his headphones off.
I'm not just talking to Anna with that. I'm sure there's plenty of comic skeptics out there that would...
Yeah, they've already turned off because we said comics were starting. Which is exactly what a normal person does. When I listen to podcasts and they get onto the bit I'm not interested in, I turn it off. I don't give them 20 minutes to sell it to me.
Fair enough.
Right, Anna, it has been a delight. I'm sure we will see you soon. I'll probably see you quite soon.
Do I have to?
Would you like to tell people where they can find you on the internet?
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
It's a very good name. And toodle pip, Anna. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I am going to come in there though and get some French fries because I'm peckish.
Are you? That's a problem. Right.
Mute your mic before you go.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah, she's gonna disappear. Just don't end the broadcast. I don't think you can.
Leave call.
Leave call is what you want to do. Right. Okay. Bye, Anna.
Bye.
So, comics. Do you want to lead off? Because then I can mute while Anna comes in here and smashes everything. So, if one of you two wants to talk about what you've been reading this week, I will mute myself.
Go, Pab.
Go me. Oh God. Okay. I have pretty much done most of what Kev did last week because, as you know, I'm a week behind on comics because I get my comics delivered via Forbidden Planet, and they decided to send the week before's comics a week late. So I've read. I got Titans Rebirth came through. Titans Rebirth is a damn good book.
Yeah,
I like Titans. I like Titans a lot now. I was always aware of Teen Titans and stuff, and I was like, yeah, they're like sort of like B team. And then suddenly I'm interested after reading that one, and it references another book. So in the Titans Rebirth, it's anyway. I instantly on Amazon. I was like, oh, that's not out till the September, so I've put on my wish list now. So I've got I've got a Titans book on pre-order sort of thing. And yeah, it goes back to Wally. I get these confused up. I get confused between Wally and Barry. But Wally's the one who's all the Rebirth is sort of centered around, isn't it?
It is.
And yeah, that's what's keeping me interested in it, and it brings up all say Nightwing. I don't know. I only knew Nightwing in this lot. Are these other characters all quite major?
We had Red Arrow / Arsenal / Speedy, whatever he's called in this.
There was
Arrow's sidekick. Yeah,
She from the same.
Yeah,
planet, however it is.
Woman's person.
Yeah, I thought so.
Aqualad's knocking around as well.
Yeah, is it Aqualad? Is that what he's called?
Yeah.
Because they all just refer to each other as first name terms, and I'm like, all right, okay. And I knew who Nightwing was, but I didn't know any of the others because, like I said, they all refer to themselves as like individual names. So I was like, well, I don't know who he is, but he looks like he was from the sea. He looks like he shoots arrows. Okay, yeah, okay, so he's a sidekick of him. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I could get on board with this. And what I've done is I've subscribed to him on Comixology now, which is a bad thing. I didn't think I'd do it. I thought I'd just pick them up one at a time as and when. But I'm getting confused. I'm getting lost in this massive array of comic books of DC and Rebirth is just pumping out every week. So I'm like, just get it subscribed and get it over and done with, because it's easy that way. I don't have to faff about trying to go which one's which and which one to. Because I'm getting confused now. I noticed there's another Detective Comics and an Action Comics coming out this week, isn't there?
There has.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so I've got to buy them and catch up with that now. I don't know. Is there an order I'm meant to be reading these in? Did they link it all, or is it not really connected?
There hasn't really been any linking yet.
No.
I would make sure you're reading them all in like the week they came out order.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but like sometimes I'm missing ones because I'm not subscribed to them, or like I say, I'm behind on because of stupid Forbidden Planet delivery system. So I'm behind a week on that anyway on some of them. But Yeah, I've read that. That came in the post, and then my digital ones that I got: Batman #1, Green Lantern #1, and Green Arrow #1, which are all very good. The Batman one was alright. It had the appearance of 2 new superheroes, which I don't know whether you knew about who these people were before, Kev. The is it Is he called Gotham and Gotham?
Yeah, no, they're new.
They're new, are they?
They
I
are
thought they
new.
were because Batman thinks it's Superman, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we
And they're
don't
like,
know if they're good guys or bad guys either.
yeah, I don't know. I was like, well, that's an interesting take on it. We'll see where this goes, and that's kept it subscribed for another week or two. That was a good book compared to the Rebirth one, which was a bit of Batman. That #1 kicked off well. The Green Lantern one is probably the weakest one of the lot that I've read thus far. Don't know if you'd agree with that. It's all right.
I like the sassy attitudes of the two of
Yeah,
them. So
that's the
that will
thing.
keep me involved.
I don't know. I don't have necessarily an interest in these because I know there's going to be is there a Hal Jordan Green Lantern
There
Rebirth
is.
as well? So I think that maybe more interests me at the minute than the Green Lanterns together because I don't actually know. It seems like a side story that they're putting out before the main show. And I don't know whether that's something I'd be interested in. I don't know. It seemed all right.
I think these are going to be your Earth-based Green Lanterns, and the Hal
Right.
Jordan stuff is going to be off in the galaxy somewhere,
Yeah.
doing something with the
Well,
Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think I've got it subscribed anyway. I might not have done. I don't know, but I will carry on reading that. Green Arrow was probably the best one for what I've read this week. Green Arrow's good.
It has had a very good launch.
Yeah, definitely.
While we're on DC Rebirth, then the ones this week, this has been a much better week than last week was. Last week, I was a little disappointed in most of them. Really, they didn't seem to carry the same pizzazz and excitement over as they'd had in the previous couple of weeks. But this week, there wasn't a bad comic, and bearing in mind Aquaman was one of them. Even that I found engaging enough to think, yeah, go on, I'll try issue 2 as well. We'll see where we're going with this. So this week we've had the issue 1s of Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Aquaman, as well as the latest issues of Detective Comics and Action Comics. Detective Comics is just superb at the moment. We're getting more of this team building of the Batman Batwoman team with all the extra folk getting involved in there, and it's just shaping up to be a fantastic story. Really enjoying where this is going, like the dynamic between all the different characters, and just I thought the whole 2-weekly thing was going to annoy me, but I can't wait to get this a couple of times a month. I'm actually a little bit annoyed that because it's a 5-week month, we've got to wait 3 weeks for the next issue of Detective Comics rather than 2. And that's just painful. They've already conditioned me to want them more often. Action Comics didn't really give me any answers, but asked enough extra questions to make me want to stay involved in that for a little bit longer. We're definitely this is definitely teeing up to go somewhere with the son of Superman, who's Jonathan. That's what they've called him, isn't it?
Yeah. Who the other Superman is? Are we presuming it is?
That's what I mean about we're not.
And it being very vague.
Yeah, we're not getting answers. They're just posing even more questions. So
They
they acknowledged that all of the characters acknowledged fairly early on in this issue that okay, so I'm Superman, you're Lex Luthor. Who's Clark Kent? How is he there? So they've all noticed Clark Kent is there, but Clark's not acknowledging that he's Superman. No one's really sure if he is Superman or not. If it's the old Superman has come back, or if something else weird is going on. So
that stuff was based in the Superman #1, wasn't it, and stuff like that about him. So is that? Have I got to sort of link them up now? As in, like, is this? Because to me, I can't see where in the timeline this is now. And a certain thing it syncs up because this is where I start getting lost in the Action Comics. Is that a separate sort of thing, or is it?
I think it's going to be. I don't think it is at the moment because we're still rebirthing.
Yeah.
At the moment, Action Comics seems to be more focused on Lex, whereas Superman is more focused on the boy.
Right.
But the whole story of what's happened to the old Superman, what's the new one going to do, that seems to be going on in both of them. So they're telling this overall story of Superman with 2 other characters sort of taking the focus in the 2 individual books.
Yeah, that's what threw me because, let's say, #1, they're pretty much like the old Superman's gone. He ain't coming back. And then the Action Comics are going, who's that Clark Kent? Why is Clark Kent here? So they're getting confused. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Where's this timeline? Is it? And then I say I've not seen number 2 yet. Is number 2 out next week?
I assume it probably is.
Yeah, I think so. I think 2's out next week, so I'll catch that one and see where we're at with that.
I know one of the big things we're all frustrated about with the Flash is that there just aren't enough Flashes at the moment. You know. So luckily, in the Flash issue 1, it looks like we might be getting another one. They're certainly setting things up to suggest there's going to be yet another Flash getting involved, which is ridiculous and awesome, and it was just a really good issue, giving you more Barry Allen, this is who he is, this is what he stands for kind of stuff. And while he's not involved in it at all now, he's gone off to do the Titans book, I guess. That story's going to carry on in Titans. This was very much about Barry, and then we get the hang on, what's happening here towards the end to hook us in for another issue. And then Wonder Woman was just excellent again. I mean,
which week were we in?
This is Wonder Woman issue 1.
No, I mean which week we're in? Future or past?
It was present. So we'll get they're calling it Wonder Woman Year 1. That starts in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time or whenever it is. But
is that anything to do with the actual Wonder Woman? That was it. Was that Earth 1?
That was Earth 1.
Was it? All right,
so
okay.
It's along the lines of how we've had. I mean, all the heroes have had their Year 1 issue, their Year 1 collections at various points. Yeah. If you haven't read Batman Year 1 yet, get on it, young man. But there will be a collected book of Wonder Woman Year 1 at some point in the future. So it's probably the one where you could just get it monthly and then buy the Year 1 trade paperback at some point. But it's so good. It's the best of the lot at the moment. Really enjoying Wonder Woman. And just got to get it read because it's just very. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just really, really good, and the art is very, very pretty on it as well. Yeah. Very well drawn.
Yeah, I find that with a lot of them. To be fair, I don't. None of them seem to offend me, so I wouldn't disagree with that.
Other than DC Rebirth stuff, I didn't buy any Marvel stuff this week because I managed to resist getting any more of the Civil War 2 tie-ins, and I promised myself, as detailed in Kev's pull list on YouTube earlier this week, that unless it's Civil War 2, I'm going to try and avoid buying Marvel stuff and just try and wait for Marvel Unlimited. So I didn't buy any Marvel stuff, but did get myself up to date on a couple of Kelly Sue DeConnick books, and she very kindly tweeted me to thank me after I tweeted pictures of them out as well. So I haven't read them, but I have bought myself up to date on Bitch Planet and Pretty Deadly, and very much looking forward to continuing with both of them. I've read the first trade of both of them, and I've got 2 or 3 issues of each to work through over the weekend and get myself up to speed, but they're both excellent so far. I've spoken about them before on the show, so going to get myself stuck into them because that's pretty much the only single issues I've still got outstanding at the moment. I'm doing a bit of a catch-up this week. As I've already mentioned it, the pull list thing on YouTube, I'm going to try and do that every sort of Tuesday afternoon thing. So if you want to take a more active role in the show, you can have a look on a Tuesday night / Wednesday morning at what books I'm buying that week, and then when I talk about them on the show, you can have bought them yourself and you'll have read them, and we can get a whole chat going in the comments, and won't that be splendid? So
it's quite useful for me that I know what's coming out that week, so I'm not confused.
The only problem is I might need to lower the production values on it because it took me like 2 hours to edit that video together with all the stupid books appearing behind me by magic.
Took you 2 hours, did it?
Yeah. Whereas all the other videos I did this week took 2 minutes because I edited them on my phone. Have you got any more before I go into my book of the week?
I haven't spoken about any of my lot yet. Just to start off with Spencer in the chat. So to be fair, I think that Sheepdog has sold me on comics. I wasn't against them, but I wasn't for them either, and he's going to give them a go, which is exactly the response I wanted. People saying that, yeah, I see what you're saying. You can't write off a whole genre. To be fair, I've done the same thing in the past.
I did. I was the same. Before we started doing comics, I was like, nope, and I felt obliged. I felt obliged because we were doing it on air, and I'm completely hooked now. So.
Yeah, got the bug. So very pleased to hear that with the new Injustice game, they are bringing out. What they're doing is they're going to wrap up Injustice: Gods Among Us season 1. They're calling it now, even though we're on year 5. They're going to wrap it up, and then they're going to go straight into Injustice: Gods Among Us 2 universe timeline, whatever. So whatever the build up to that game is going to be will be the story, and then the game will be the end. I find the whole process for it confusing because you're basically reading a prequel to a game you've finished. You'd think they'd have spent the past 5 years doing Injustice 2 ready for the game to come out, but I know it's not really feasible to do that. I kind of phased out when you two were talking about DC Rebirth because I'm into what's it called? Not Crisis on Infinite Earths, Final Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 3 into that, I think. I'm okay to talk about that now because it's so old. It won't spoil anything, won't I? So, like you were saying before, with Crisis on Infinite Earths, all the Earths were being destroyed by the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor. He's disintegrated all the different universes, millions of them, destroyed all the different worlds that existed. At that point, there were 5 left. The whole story goes through everything it does, and now we're left with one Earth. And Earth 2's Superman, Superboy, and Lex Luthor's son from Earth 3 are trapped in another kind of world because they heroically stayed behind. Now, it seems like because I haven't read the 150 or so comics between that happening, and I mean per character, not even just, 150 comics per character that happened in between that, the finale of Crisis on Infinite Earths and the final Crisis story. It seems as though some of the characters who are from other worlds don't remember what the hell happened. No one really remembers what the hell happened, and everything's just gone down the pan, has it, over time? Is that right?
I have a question.
Go on.
If you've gone Crisis of Infinite Earths to Final Crisis, you've missed out Infinite Crisis, which is between the two of them.
It's Infinite Crisis that I'm reading, I think.
That's all right then, because you worried me for a minute there. Is Superman in a blue suit with a mullet?
So what happened is that Alexander Luthor and
It's Infinite Crisis you're reading.
Yeah,
That's fine.
all right, cool. They've basically come back because everything was going so crappy, and somebody's got a computer with everyone's identities on it, which was quite cool. I read the countdown to Infinite Crisis before. Did you read that?
No.
That was quite interesting and good. I'm glad I did because it was the Blue Beetle telling everyone there was a problem and everyone just ignoring him and then going and getting himself moided. I love the fact that they're pretty insignificant heroes in the grand scheme of things, but they're so prominent in this because, like Psycho Pirate, I can't imagine him being anything worthwhile anywhere else, but in these stories he seems almost integral, which is hilarious. I'm so into it, it's ridiculous. The other, was it yesterday? One of the days this week, my wife wanted to put the telly on while she did some work, but she just didn't notice I never turned it on because I just sat there reading the comics for 3 or 4 hours. I'm finding this story much easier to read than the other one. It seems like they really honed their DC Universe skills before they got to this point. But yeah, I think these ensemble things are superb. I mean, I'm preferring these to the Marvel ones. I realised I was so behind on Injustice that I went back and caught up on that. And I was also a couple behind on Buffy. That I know I've spoken about the Buffy comic before, but that is so good. If you're ever a fan of the show, and I know you weren't personally, but people listening, if you were ever fans of the show,
and if you weren't, you should try it because of bread or something.
What?
that I remember that being part of your argument for comics. If you like bread, you eat comics or something.
Right. Then yeah, if you ever watch the first 7 seasons, there's like 8, 9, 10, and 11 now that are in comic book form, and they're all standalone seasons. They all follow on from the show. It's the same characters. They bring back lots of characters that lived in the universe, and some that even died in the universe previously. But none of it feels forced. It's not like, oh look, we've done a sequel to a film. We've just managed to bring every character back. It's just they haven't leapt to bring characters back in season 8 that you'd want them to. They've had them appear 4 seasons later, which would have been 6 or 7 years. It's like the show never ended, but also stepped up a gear because they can be much more flexible when it's just an artist with a pen and paper compared to them having to do CGI and stuff. So I'm not really sure. People who have never watched the program, I'm not really sure how you'd get an on-ramp to it. It's very popular, but I don't think there's like a prequel comic that would fill you in, because part of me would think I'd never recommend, if you'd never heard of this, Kevin, you would say, oh, I'm not familiar with what Buffy is. I wouldn't say to you, go and watch 7 seasons of it. I know you wouldn't, and I'm not trying to encourage you to, but I would not say to someone, go and sit through.
Well, I will then.
Ha! I knew it would work. No, because apart aside from anything, the first year of that's terrible. I'm surprised it ever got renewed. But season 2 onwards, good, but it doesn't it doesn't stack up to time. It aged badly, whereas the comics are superb. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've read. I don't think there is, but very much loving the binge, and I would like to see more people getting involved in it.
Splendid. Here you go. Here's a book that you should binge on. Lazarus by Greg Rucka, and some other people who did some pictures. Greg Rucka is the guy who's writing the new Wonder Woman as part of DC Rebirth. He also wrote Black Magic, which I talked about probably about a month ago now. But this is excellent. I've read the first 4 volumes of this week, Lazarus, and the basic gist of it. I think I've talked about the first volume before on the show because I got it in a Humble Bundle, and then also purchased the paperback copy of it when we were down at Comic-Con the other week. But there was a sale on Lazarus on Comixology this week where everything was half price, so I bought everything else, started again from the beginning, and reading it all through in one go has been awesome. Basically, and I'm summarising what's on the back of the first trade because I don't want to drop anything into the story that happens in volumes 2, 3, or 4 because there's so many twists and turns and just massive moments that you don't expect are coming. So I need to be very careful that I only talk about stuff that they're willing to talk about on the back of their own book. But the general setup for it is countries aren't a thing that exists anymore. We're probably, I don't know, maybe 50 years into the future, and the world is now ruled by super rich families. I think there's like 8 to 10 families in the world. The book is set in the territory controlled by the Carlisle family, who have got, from what I can gather without seeing a map, probably the western half of America. They hang about in California. They dip down into Mexico occasionally. I think they duck up towards Canada. And then there's other families sort of directly below them and to the side of them that they seem to be constantly at war with. And then there's a few they've got alliances with elsewhere in the world. But yeah, the Carlisle family control this part of America. If you're part of the family, you basically get to live like a king. If you're not part of the family, you're either a serf, which is the people who the family have promoted to, yeah, you can have a decent life and a job, that's fine, come and work for us, we'll sort you out with a salary, everyone's hunky-dory. And if you're not good enough to be selected as a serf, you are waste, and they just leave you to fend for yourself and hopefully die and get out of the way. And it's very dystopian, crumbling society. I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, but when you see LA in this book, it looks like it's been bombed to hell. And the Lazarus, the titular Lazarus, is basically a super soldier that each family has one of, who has almost superpowers and a healing factor, and is just trained to be a fighter and go out there and fight the wars for their family. And we follow Forever Carlisle, who is the Lazarus for the Carlisle family, and her adventures across lots and lots of different things that I can't get into. So I think the first trade probably starts off a little slowly, but the art style is awesome. If I show you one of the, there you go, it's a treat for the YouTube people. It's a very sort of rough and ready sort of art style. It's not really detailed stuff. There's not a huge use of colour in the book, but I think it works really well. And once you get into that second volume, this story just really picks up a pace, and there's some fantastic twists along the way. And if it's an example of what Greg Rucka can do, we are in for a treat with the new Wonder Woman books, because Lazarus is highly recommended. And I think it's still on sale on Comixology now, so lap it up now. Do it now!
If people don't call that man's Mother Rucker, they're missing out.
They almost certainly do.
They've got to be, haven't they? His wife should be Mother Rucker.
Exactly. Any more? I know Pab was waving a book around earlier.
Oh, yeah. After last week's chat about Watchmen, I did. There you go. Finally got it.
You're not ready.
Signed, though. Signed. Look, signed.
Is that a hardcover as well?
Yeah, hardcover signed by Dave Gibbons, the artist.
Dave the Gibbon.
Yeah, well, it took a week to come, but it came today. I may start reading that at some point. Yeah, I enjoyed the film, so it's definitely worth a read, isn't it? Now I'm into comics.
There you go, that's the spirit. So I think that is probably that. It's been an incredibly long show this week because of, we'll blame Sheepdog for it. We can't blame AD because he gets moody when we do, but we'll blame Sheepdog.
Let's blame AD, make him moody.
Hashtag blame AD. Let's hit him up with some hashtags over the weekend. He loves it. And he's really in a really cheerful mood these last couple of days as well. So yeah, he's been tweeting some really positive, happy stuff.
Is he?
Oh, check.
Yeah, I don't know. Most things I see of him is similar to us, where we get YouTube tweets in foreign languages. So.
Yeah, I think he invented foreign language YouTube tweets.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Go on.
I was talking to the audience now. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel this week. I am going to continue to fill it up with little videos that are 2 or 3 minutes long that are just me sat in front of Billy chatting to you about whatever I'm chatting to and showing you whatever I'm holding. I have my pop in the box is going to arrive any day now, so I'll do an unboxing on that because I don't know what's going to be in that. And there'll be some other little bits and pieces that I've got planned for the week ahead as well. So keep an eye on that at youtube.com/MatureGamerPodcast. Keep your suggestions coming in for ways we can save our sheepdog, either on the Facebook or the Twitter or the wherever else it might be. If you are on Facebook, a couple of people have said, you lot are advertising. Because we've showed up as a sponsored link on Facebook because we chucked a whole $5 at an advertising campaign on Facebook.
Oh.
People have actually noticed it. It's basically we've got a sponsored thing which is just me, and it launches straight into the video of me going, "Hello, Sheepdog's desperately ill, and we need to save him," or something along those lines. It's excellent. And MGPX, buy tickets. Every £1 you spend on tickets gets you an entry into the raffle. The grand prize of which is an Xbox One with a copy of The Division.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
yes.
A Matrix Jigsaw.
Or a Matrix Jigsaw, 300 piece. You can get your tickets by going to maturegamerpodcast.com/MGPX or justgiving.com/MGPX16. Did you know you can follow us on Twitter at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lalujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
And I'm at Pab1986.
And we also have the Facebook group at facebook.com/MatureGamerPodcast. And if you are kind enough to be watching this on YouTube, whether live or on one of the replays, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, pop a like on there for us, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. It all helps with the discoverability and all that stuff, in the same way as those iTunes reviews do over on iTunes. So wang us a 5-star and a fresh comment. Let us know whether Sheepdog convinced you to go out and read a Plants vs. Zombies comic this week.
Oh, Buffy.
I think more of my point was just that
bread, plants.
There'll be one. Name a program or a thing. I bet there's a bread comic.
There you go. That's very wise. We'll go and read the bread comic. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye bye.